Hey, T-Suppers, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Let's go. Trump, what? Happy Saturday, T-Sippers. Let's go. Come on in, come in, hitting the like button. Let me put that in the comments. Hold on. That's what we doing. We coming in, hitting the like button. Back online. Let's go. Hey, Be Rich. Hey, T-Sippers. Please come in, hitting the like button. And I have today's goal, support goal, pinned to the top. 36 people in here, only 6 likes. Let's get them up. Hey, Cynthia. Get the likes up for me. Come on in, tea sippers. Come on in. Hey, Janet. Hi, Richard. Yeah, they trying to come in, but they ain't trying to hit the like button. Ooh. Let's go. What we sipping on this Saturday? What we sipping on? What we sipping on? What we sipping on? We got our tea. We got some tea. Where the tea at, bud? Let's go. Where the tea at? Come on, Auntie B. Where the tea at? Where the lights at? The tea is where the lights at. Where we at? Huh? Where the tea at, baby? Where, hey, Monty. Where the likes at, baby? Ooh, I done ate. I done had a good old meal. I'm warming up some good old tea. I done been laughing at some people today earlier. Yeah. Watching old Duke audition in Vegas. Wanna do, baby. Y'all gotta get the likes up. I got a goal set today. At the top is pinned. I have a goal for $100. We're gonna try to start reaching my goal, even though I am demonetized, because I'm bringing y'all the tea, the real tea. Yeah, not that fake propaganda tea. And you know, Trump don't want to, he don't want the truth out there by any means necessary. He thought he was gonna stop me. He almost did. Tell the truth, shame the devil. Pass that cup, yes. Oh yeah, I got another one of those wines I got for Mother's Day. Some Suki. Is it? Yeah. Pastor Cavossier. Say what? Monty, don't get me started. So I got a gold pin for my Cash App. Help me reach my goal. Get the likes up and help me reach my goal. Is that all right? Jenny, can you put that down today? You know I will. Get the likes up and help me reach my goal. Yeah, that's the word for today. Get the likes up and help Auntie Fee reach her goal. Is that all right? Is that all right? Is that all right? Is that all right? Yeah. Is that all right? Is that all right? Now we get started when them lights start going up. It'd be fascinating, some of the stuff I would have already talked about. It's like either somebody listening and taking it and running with it somewhere, or it's just, I don't know. Huh? No, I wanted to say a goal. I have a goal. Yeah, I'll put it in there. Her goal, you do say goal. Okay, I see it. Thank you, Janet. Yeah, now other people talking about Iran only want to speak to President Obama. I heard this one cat say he thought it was fake. No, it ain't fake. Iran out here saying you go in and everywhere you want to go. You can try to talk to whoever you want to talk to. But as far as me and my country, we only want to talk to Obama. He was the last thing in office that ever had some sense and some respect. And if we can't talk to him, we ain't negotiating no motherfucking thing. I'm sick of y'all ignorant ass people trying to act like you are a leader. And all you are is a dictator. And we don't want none of your dictation. Y'all get the likes up. That's what we on today. Huh? You done got embarrassed in front of the whole wide world. It was global on purpose. We intended to strip you in front of everybody. Hear ye, hear ye. Watch us pull all the air out of this wannabe dictator. We finna strip him of every bit of humility. Yeah, we finna strip him for humility. Yeah, we finna strip him of every piece of power he think he have. Today is your day. Today is a day of reckoning. You are about to be demoted and laughed at. Laughed at. Like a child. Yeah. We finna humiliate you. All these damn tariffs and shit. You popping your chest like you King Kong. Foolishness. Foolishness. Tell you like I be telling them folk in the YouTube streets of the most. Ain't nobody scared of you. Ain't nobody scared of you. Who in the fuck do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Ain't nobody scared of you. Only them trifling fools that hope that you gonna be able to pull this bull out. Yeah, scared of you. Yeah, I heard them folk talking about why Trump kept patting his hand. Well, hell, Xing Ying Xing Zhang Jing was squeezing that motherfucker hard as he could. And he wanted him to understand that you are weak. I heard somebody say, why Trump kept patting his hand like, okay, let it go. Stumbled. They showed it to me at a different angle. They have damn near pulled his ass off his feet. Yank that hand. Yeah, pull your weak ass forward. Come here, boy. That's what I saw. What did y'all see? Oh, we need to see it. Well, hell, I need to see these likes go up. I mean, what are we doing? Y'all think LTV playing? I ain't playing today. We 17, almost 18 minutes in. Yeah, 64 people in here hustling. Yeah, only 16 likes. Y'all trying to hear to see if I'm gonna talk about that person who thought they was slick and did a whole live on TV and hid it. Yeah, that's that Trump shit, ain't it? Yeah, throw some rocks out there and hide their fingers. I don't hide a motherfucking thing. What I say, I mean. You understand? Yeah, they up in here, y'all, because they think I'm going to talk about that person who made a whole live of. Imagine that clap. I wish I would. Yeah, and hid it. Well, what you make it for? You scared? You scared? You scared I'm going to throw you in that bathtub Chronicles? Is. That's why I'm looking for the video. Is. Baby. And I'm going to wear your ass out. Y'all, I used to be nice. Y'all, let me say this. Hey, Kawana. Used to be nice. Tried to give these clowns respect. Want more from my people, you know. They thought I was weak. That's the funny part about it, baby. When these new people that they done sung and sent for or auditioned for or whatever, yeah, they would tell them to start with Auntie Fee, kind of, you know, because she a easy win. Y'all get the likes up. You understand? Yeah, they would say, call Auntie Fee BITCH, and because she don't like all that cussing and stuff. Woo! That's the funny part about it. I used to try to respect them folks. You understand? until they thought that they was running stuff. Dictatorship. They was just gonna kind of bogart and tell people this and say that, and then you know, I'm like, why do we have to come on here and argue and talk to people all crazy? It's more to the, you know, they didn't understand respect. Yeah. And then they learned the hard way that Auntie Fee know how to get you up off her. Now get up off me. Let's go. My whole change from them clowns. Change. So that's why they in here and don't want to hit the like button. Cause me senior citizens and stuff. Even one girl did some ugly stuff to a senior citizen. That man's 67 years old. Call me what you want to. But back up. Y'all not finna trump me. Y'all not finna DJT me. Try to dictate to me. Oh no, I don't like dictators. I don't like Trump. He abuses people. Verbally disrespectful to people who won't say nothing back to him. Y'all see how that go? You know, and when you try to stand firm on him, then he'll turn and flip the script. You're the most disgraceful. That's to me, that's equivalent to doing a whole live about Auntie Fee and can't nobody find it now. Now that she looking for it, now that she done found out it's out there and looking for it. Yeah. Say it with your whole chest and let me respond. Yeah, so when Ching Chong responded to him with that strong hand grip, he had to pat his way out of it like, okay, let me go. God. Yeah, and then when he finally let that grip go on him, he had to pat him on the shoulder like, okay, we cool, I get it. God dang. Yeah. That hand so dead it didn't even turn red. Now you know that's a dead ass hand. As hard as that man had a grip on his hand and yanked him forward and wouldn't let it go. Trump steady patting on it. Let me go. Okay. Yeah, Uncle. I call Uncle. Yeah, it's funny. Come on, y'all. Let me go in because I need for y'all to see this. Yeah, they talking about it, laughing at him. That's how I'm laughing at the person who did a live on me and put it on private or threw it away. It was a throwaway. Ain't that what they call it? Yeah, you better throw that motherfucker away. Because I'm coming. I'm looking. Mess around and be bold. Yeah, be bold. And put it out there and say, uck it. Do me that favor. So I can sit and soak in some hot bubble bath. And discuss it. Let's go. You bad. You Michael Jackson. Yeah. What was that chimpanzee name? What was Michael Jackson's chimpanzee name? Yeah. Yeah, let's go. What they say, I ain't the one or the two, or the three or four. Yeah. Yeah, I see now, I get it. Sometimes you gotta put these dictators, wanna-be dictators in the bubbles. That's it. There we go, Cynthia. There you go, Janet. I see it now. I wasn't looking. Yeah, bubbles. Your bubble-looking ass. Bubbles. Yeah, that's it. I see now. You got to stand up like Pearson when they in Virginia, and he called that man boy. Boy, what you think you running? That's what is going on right now. Folk think they can manhandle you, dictate to you like somebody's scared. Yeah, them days is over. So let's go, y'all. Them days is over. Trump got, I'm going to say punked, P-O-N-K-E-D in China. Punked his ass. Punked. P-O-N-K-E-D. Now be smart about it. Yeah, he got punked. And everybody know it, including Maga. They know it. They sick as a dog. Yeah, they sick as a dog. Yeah, they are. Let's go. They sick as a dog, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. Come on in and hit the like button. I ain't gonna start nothing with you if you don't start nothing with me. You respect me. For the most part, I respect you. We understand. We on the cool. We on the same page. But baby, let me tell y'all something. What are they called? Behind the scenes and what's that other one? Them decors. It's always somebody that's gonna tell the tea that you don't think gonna tell it. It's always gonna be somebody who gonna leak the conversation and expose y'all. Always. Don't ever think it's private. Don't ever think it's private. Don't ever think the whole time don't know what's going on. That's where a lot of people go wrong. Baby, let me get to it. They got recordings from when he was in, oh, that's Howard. This is Terrence Howard reveals how Diddy got a hold to Hakeem. Yeah, that's coming up soon, y'all. I got it right here waiting. Yeah. Po Hakeem. Yeah. Yeah, Po Hakeem. Y'all say Po Hakeem. Yeah, from Empire. Bless his heart. Yeah. Yeah, bless his heart. Diddy and Epstein got a hold of him. My. Ooh, Lord, I bet you he couldn't sit down. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. What 5,000 people marching in London means to Americans. Whoa. This just popped up, y'all, an hour ago.
I was watching the news.
Let's hear this. This is out of order. Let me say this. Po Hakeem. Can I get y'all to say Po Hakeem? Po Ham Kill. Janet. I like that. Po Ham Kill. Po Ham Kill. Po Ham Kill. Po Hakeem. Who got another name for Hakeem? Who got the next one? Say Po Ham Hocks. Po Ham Butt Cheeks. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he had a pickle entry. Yeah, pickle entry. Monty, Po Butt Cheeks. Yeah. Po Ham Hocks. Yeah. Ha Ham Hocks. Yeah, you want to get, if this what we doing. Yeah. So, y'all, this is out of order. I was not them cheeks, baby. From, who had them? For, Smith, Diddy, where did Epstein, Diddy probably passed him on. Yeah. Yeah, but his girlfriend better stop. You know, his YouTube girlfriend, she better stop. Yeah, she gonna get him drugged through the mud. But cheeks will forever be separate. Absolutely. Yeah, she better leave the senior citizens alone since she wanna be funny. Yeah, we can all laugh. Can we all just laugh and get along? Yeah, don't get touchy now. Yeah. Yeah, he ha ha. Let me hear what you said, Fred. Let me hear what you said, Fred. Let's go, y'all. Y'all ready to hear watching the news? So thank you. Shout out, please do not come in here having anything negative to say about the person who is able to bring us the truth and analyze it correctly based on his experience. Until any kid comes along and says that Bill Clinton did anything to them, boy or girl, I don't have nothing negative to say about him. Now, if he cheated on his wife, that's between him and his wife. If she forgave him, she forgave him. Because damn near all of them in that position, you know, these elite, supposed to be lawmakers, 95, I'm going to say 80% of them are cheaters. So I'm only concerned about the ones that were violated as a kid. Now, Hippie, yeah, Hakeem, I think he was an adult. Was he not? May have been a young one. I don't know. Maybe I need to check and see how old he is before I run him through there, because his YouTube plaything allegedly trying to start messing how the fingers. Okay, let's see. Sylvia. Hillary Clinton, before she ever married Bill Clinton, she knew he was a player. Okay, let's go. She knew he was going to cheat on her, and she stayed steadfast next to her husband. Let's go. Let's go, Sylvia. I guess she said don't bring, but he did bring a baby home, didn't he? Yeah. A darker shade of brown. He had him a dark one. Yeah, he said once you go black, you never go back. God damn. Yeah, he got a son and a daughter. Hillary got a daughter, and his plaything had his son. Looked just like him. Yeah. So, yeah, until somebody can give me a name where I can research as a minor, yeah, don't come in here complaining about somebody who is providing us with the truth. Respectfully. That's what I'm on. Okay? Yes, he's in the Epstein files. Yes, he is. But nobody said that he raped them. Nobody said he assaulted them. Nobody said he did anything but got a massage. Okay, y'all, let's go.
And I saw something that I think every American needs. You know, I was watching the news, and I saw something that I think every American needs to pay attention to. Tens of thousands of people, the police estimated around 50,000, marching through the streets of London, past Parliament, past Westminster, waving flags and chanting about immigration and national identity. And I thought to myself, this is not just a British story. This is our story too. Because when something like this happens in the capital city of our closest ally, a country that shares our language, our legal traditions, our democratic DNA, you better believe the tremors reach our shores. And the person who organized this march, a man named Tommy Robinson, well, we'll come back to him in a moment. But first, I want to talk about what it means when 50,000 people feel so unheard by their own government that they take to the streets behind a figure the establishment has tried everything to silence. Because whether you agree with those marchers or not, and I have some real concerns about where this is heading, you cannot look at a crowd that size and pretend the underlying frustrations aren't real. That's a mistake I learned never to make in the White House. You ignore that kind of energy at your own peril. And the question for Americans isn't whether we like what happened in London. The question is, what does it tell us about what's coming here? Now, let me give you some context, because context matters.
Hold on, y'all. If y'all need to see what he's talking about, because I've been on something else today, and I didn't know that this was going on. So let's check this out real quick before we finish listening to him, so that we will have a full understanding. Is that all right? Is that all right, T Sippers? Look at the top. We have a goal today of $100. I need for y'all to hit the like button, double tap the face of your screen, and then help me reach my goal. Okay? Okay, so here's this quickness right here of what's going on in these not the YouTube streets, these political streets. There's a bunch going on. So I want us to have a full understanding of what Clinton is talking about. This is going on right now in London. Okay. Oh, hold on. There is no sound. Oh, we. Oh, we. Okay, so let's finish listening to Clinton. Just wanted to have a full understanding of what was going on. Thank you. Yeah, we need $90 more to help me reach my goals. $90 more to help me reach my goal. Thank you so very much for the first one. For the first person to help me reach it. I greatly appreciate it. Hit the like button, and we have a goal pinned at the top. Please help me reach my goal. Let me get back to...
You know, I was watching the news, and I saw something that I think every American needs to pay attention to. Tens of thousands of people, the police estimated around 50,000,
Happy birthday. I thought
marching through the streets of London, past Parliament, past Westminster, waving flags and chanting about immigration and national identity. And I thought to myself, this is not just a British story. This is our story too. Because when something like this happens in the capital city of our closest ally, a country that shares our language, our legal traditions, our democratic DNA, you better believe the tremors reach our shores. Mm-hmm. And the person who organized this march, a man named Tommy Robinson, well, we'll come back to him in a moment. But first, I want to talk about what it means when 50,000 people feel so unheard by their own government that they take to the streets.
It's bad, y'all.
Behind a figure the establishment has tried everything to silence. Because whether you agree with those marchers or not, and I have some real concerns about where this is heading.
Not good.
You cannot look at a crowd that size and pretend the underlying frustrations aren't real. That's a mistake I learned never to make in the White House. You ignore that kind of energy at your own peril. And the question for Americans isn't whether we like what happened in London. The question is, what does it tell us about what's coming here? Now let me give you some context, because context matters. It always does. The man behind this rally is Tommy Robinson, and that's not even his real name. His birth name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon. He co-founded something called the English Defense League back in 2009, which was an anti-Islam street protest movement. He's been a fixture of the British far right for over 15 years now. And here's what you need to know about his record, because it's significant. He has criminal convictions for assault, including kicking an off-duty police officer in the head. He was jailed in 2013 for traveling to the United States on a fake passport.
Oh, wow.
In 2014, he was sentenced to 18 months for mortgage fraud. He's been found in contempt of court multiple times, in 2017, 2019, and most recently in 2024, when he was sentenced to 18 months for repeatedly publishing false claims about a Syrian refugee teenager, a 15-year-old boy named Jamal Hijazi, even after a court told him to stop. Now look, I say all of this not to dismiss the people who showed up at that rally. Many of them have legitimate concerns about housing, about public services, about community safety. But we've got to be honest about who's leading them. Because in a democracy, the character and credibility of your leaders matter. And this is where things start to get complicated. So what actually happened on May 16th, 2026? Robinson organized what he called the Unite the Kingdom, Unite the West rally in central London. The Metropolitan Police deployed 4,000 officers alongside horses, dogs, drones, and helicopters. They estimated 50,000 supporters would attend, and by most accounts, the turnout met or exceeded that. Now, this wasn't the first one. Back in September 2025, Robinson held a similar rally that drew somewhere between 100,000 and 150,000 people, according to police estimates. The speeches at these rallies focus on a few core themes. Mass immigration is destroying British culture. The government is covering up crimes committed by immigrants. Free speech is under attack. And the political establishment has betrayed ordinary people. And here's what I want Americans to understand. Some of those themes have a real basis in policy failures. Britain has struggles with its immigration system. There have been genuine scandals involving grooming gangs that weren't adequately investigated. But Robinson and his allies don't just highlight these problems. They collapse every grievance into a single nativist narrative. They take real pain and channel it toward fear and division. And what made this rally especially noteworthy is its international dimension. Elon Musk addressed the September rally remotely. American political figures have expressed solidarity. A closed-door meeting was held in Paris just days before under the banner, "Make Europe Great Again." This is a coordinated transatlantic movement now. Let me tell you something I learned as president. When you're in that office, you face moments where people are angry, genuinely angry, and they have every right to be. The question is never whether their anger is legitimate. It almost always is. The question is what you do with it. Do you channel it toward solutions, toward policy, toward building something better, or do you ride it for power? Now, when I look at Tommy Robinson, I see a man who has made a choice. He's chosen confrontation over construction. He's chosen spectacle over substance. And I see mainstream leaders on both sides of the Atlantic who created the vacuum he filled. The Starmer government in Britain has struggled to communicate honestly about immigration. And when leaders don't talk straight to people about hard problems, someone else will. And they won't always have the best intentions. Robinson toured the United States earlier this year, meeting with Republican lawmakers and conservative influencers, visiting the State Department, appearing on podcasts to talk about what he calls the Islamic invasion. He's building alliances, generating excitement, turning a domestic British grievance into an international political brand. And some American leaders are cheering him on, not because they've studied the policy details, but because it fits a narrative. Now, I don't agree with everything Republicans say about immigration.
Right.
But I respect the ones who ground their positions in genuine policy. What I worry about is the opportunistic alignment with a movement led by a man with 5 prison terms who has been convicted of spreading lies about a child. Here's the honest truth about what rallies like this do to democratic institutions. They stress them. They test them.
This is about a child?
The September rally remotely. American political figures have expressed solidarity. A closed-door meeting was held in Paris just days before under the banner, "Make Europe Great Again." This is a coordinated transatlantic movement now. Let me tell you something I learned as president. When you're in that office, you face moments where people are angry, genuinely angry, and they have every right to be. The question is never whether their anger is legitimate. It almost always is. The question is what you do with it. Do you channel it toward solutions, toward policy, toward building something better, or do you ride it for power? Now, when I look at Tommy Robinson, I see a man who has made a choice. He's chosen confrontation, and I see mainstream leaders on both sides of the Atlantic who created the vacuum he filled. The Starmer government in Britain has struggled to communicate honestly about immigration. And when leaders don't talk straight to people about hard problems, someone else will. And they won't always have the best intentions. Robinson toured the United States earlier this year, meeting with Republican lawmakers and conservative influencers, visiting the State Department, appearing on podcasts to talk about what he calls the Islamic invasion. He's building alliances, generating excitement, turning a domestic British grievance into an international political brand. And some American leaders are cheering him on, not because they've studied the policy details, but because it fits a narrative. Now, I don't agree with everything Republicans say about immigration, but I respect the ones who ground their positions in genuine policy. What I worry about is the opportunistic alignment with a movement led by a man with 5 prison terms who has been convicted of spreading lies about a child. Here's the honest truth about what rallies like this do to democratic institutions. They stress them, they test them, and sometimes they break them. When a movement's central figure has been convicted of fraud, contempt of court, assault, and stalking, and yet positions himself as the authentic voice of the people against the system. That's not just populism. That's a direct challenge to the rule of law. Because the courts aren't the enemy. The courts are what protect you when the powerful want to silence you. Robinson was found in contempt not for his political opinions, but for publishing proven lies about a teenage refugee and refusing to stop when a court ordered him to. And yet the narrative his movement promotes is that he's a political prisoner, persecuted for telling the truth. Elon Musk amplified that claim to hundreds of millions of people. Now think about what that does to public trust. If people come to believe that courts are just tools of political oppression, that judges are corrupt, that legal processes are rigged, then the very institutions we need to address legitimate grievances get hollowed out. I saw versions of this during my presidency, and I'll tell you what I told my team then. Democracy's immune system is its institutions. The courts, the free press, parliamentary process, law enforcement. When you delegitimize those, you don't free the people. You leave them defenseless. And what happened in London on May 16th, with 50,000 people marching behind a repeatedly convicted man, while their government banned foreign speakers from entering the country, that's a sign the immune system is under real strain on both sides. Now we've got to talk about why certain American voices are cheering this on, because that's the part that matters most for us. This rally didn't happen in a vacuum. It's part of a transatlantic network, what researchers call coordinated far-right mobilization. Robinson's September 2025 rally featured remote remarks from Elon Musk. It included speakers from France, the Netherlands, Poland, Germany, Belgium, and Denmark, all from far-right parties. American Republican figures like Valentina Gomez spoke at previous events. The Paris meeting, days before this rally, brought together European nationalists and Trump-aligned conservatives to discuss immigration, sovereignty, and what they called energy independence. And here's what concerns me as a Democrat who spent 8 years trying to build international coalitions based on shared democratic values. This is a different kind of coalition. It's built not on strengthening democratic institutions, but on the shared conviction that those institutions have failed and need to be circumvented. Some American political figures amplify these foreign movements not because they've engaged with the policy substance, but because it validates domestic narratives. London becomes a cautionary tale. Look what immigration did to Britain. But the full picture is more complicated than that. And in a democracy, you owe people the full picture. I've disagreed with plenty of Republicans over the years, but I've always respected the ones who do their homework. What worries me is the ones who skip the homework and just point at the crowd. So where does this go from here? Let me lay out what I think the realistic scenarios are. First, this movement grows. Robinson's rallies have gotten bigger each time, from tens of thousands in September 2025 to potentially much larger numbers now. The international infrastructure is maturing. The Make Europe Great Again meeting in Paris shows that this is becoming professionalized and coordinated across borders. Reform UK under Nigel Farage just gained over 1,450 council seats in recent local elections, including their first London seat. The political ground is shifting. Second scenario, mainstream parties finally engage seriously with immigration and integration policy. That's actually the best possible outcome. If responsible leaders address the legitimate grievances, housing pressure, public service strain, community safety, with honest policy solutions, the oxygen supply to movements like Robinson's gets cut off. I know this works because I've done it. During my presidency, we passed welfare reform. We put 100,000 cops on the street. We managed immigration with both enforcement and compassion. You can be tough and fair at the same time. Third scenario, and this is the one that keeps me up at night. The rhetoric keeps escalating, institutions keep getting delegitimized, and we see political violence. Robinson's movement grew directly out of the 2024 Southport riots, which were fueled by misinformation Robinson himself spread about a Welsh-born teenager, falsely claiming the attacker was a Muslim asylum seeker. When you tell people their country is being invaded and their government is complicit, some of them will act on that. That's not speculation. We've seen it. We've got to remember something. Democracy is not a machine that runs itself. It's a choice we make every single day to listen to each other, to tell the truth even when it's uncomfortable, to build institutions worthy of people's trust, and to fix those institutions when they fall short, rather than burn them down. What happened in London today matters for Americans, not because we should copy it and not because we should ignore it, but because it's a mirror. It shows us what happens when leaders fail to address real problems honestly, when trust erodes, when demagogues fill the vacuum with fear and spectacle, and when international networks amplify division faster than democracies can respond. Now look, I'm not here to demonize 50,000 people who marched through London. Many of them are parents, workers, taxpayers who feel their country is changing in ways nobody asked them about. That feeling is real and it deserves respect. But respect means telling the truth. And the truth is that Tommy Robinson, a man convicted of fraud, assault, stalking, and repeatedly lying about a child in defiance of court orders, is not the leader those people deserve. Democracy can handle dissent. Democracy can handle protest. What democracy cannot handle is a sustained assault on the very idea of truth, on the credibility of courts, on the legitimacy of the institutions that protect every single one of us. I still believe, and I know some people think this makes me old-fashioned, that the American experiment and the democratic tradition we share with Britain are strong enough to self-correct. But only if we do the work. Only if we govern honestly, engage with people's real concerns, and refuse to surrender the conversation to those who profit from division. That's the lesson of London. And it's a lesson we better learn before the next rally isn't across the ocean. It's in our own backyard.
Absolutely. Hold on, I got one more.
Now look, folks, pull up a chair for a minute.
This is the one I was
I want to
had
talk to you
planned
tonight,
already.
not as a Democrat.
But hold on. Let me trying to quietly say Iran's all. Hold on. Let me go here and I'll come back to this one.
15 minutes. Till June 1st.
Oh.
That's all it takes to shock everyone who haven't seen
Lord, what's she
you
showing?
in months.
Give me 28 days. severe structural inflation would face
Let
an
me go back.
immediate and
Y'all, I need for
irreversible.
y'all to help me reach my goal and get the likes up.
When the White House announced a total absolute maritime blockade on Iran's oil export terminals, the strategic objective was clear to everyone in Washington. The administration believed that by combining maximum pressure financial
When
sanctions
what?
with an aggressive naval encirclement, they could completely cut off Tehran's access to global energy. When the White House announced a total absolute maritime blockade on Iran's oil export terminals, the strategic objective was clear to everyone in Washington. The administration believed that by combining maximum pressure financial sanctions with an aggressive naval encirclement, they could completely cut off Tehran's access to global energy markets and collapse. The conventional economic models utilized by Western planners suggested that Iran's economy, already suffering from severe structural inflation, would face an immediate and irreversible currency collapse within weeks if its oil exports dropped to zero. But as the world watched the dramatic deployment of American carrier strike groups into the waters surrounding the Persian Gulf, an entirely different, highly sophisticated, and quiet financial maneuver was being finalized in Beijing. Within days, the data from global maritime tracking networks revealed a striking anomaly. Despite the official presence of the most powerful navy in human history,
Remaining is
Iranian
$90.
crude exports had not dropped to
Hold on,
zero.
y'all. So the goal today was set at $100, and Janet was the first cash app that I received. So the remaining is $90. Monty, everybody. Hi, Susie. Miss Time, did I speak to you? Yeah, I did. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna push it back a little. I've been on an hour and 2 minutes, 140 people in here, and I don't even want to tell you how many likes I have. This is just not how it's supposed to be. I'm trying to be nice.
Zero. But as the world watched the dramatic deployment of American carrier strike groups into the waters surrounding the Persian Gulf, an entirely different, highly sophisticated, and quiet financial maneuver was being finalized in Beijing. Within days, the data from global maritime tracking networks revealed a striking anomaly. Despite the official presence of the most powerful navy in human history, Iranian crude exports had not dropped to zero. They had stabilized, normalized, and were actually increasing. China had just quietly saved Iran's oil economy, forcing Washington to confront a profound and terrifying systemic shift. The era of unilateral Western sanctions was already dead. To truly understand how this economic lifeline was deployed under the nose of the American military establishment, we must analyze the deep structural architecture of modern international trade rather than the political rhetoric of traditional diplomacy. For decades, the effectiveness of Western sanctions relied entirely on a highly centralized, unipolar global financial system. If a country was sanctioned by the United States, it was effectively cut off from the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication, known as
Hey,
SWIFT,
Room
and
Shaker.
denied access to clearing transactions through U.S. dollar banks. Because the dollar serves as the primary currency for the global petrodollar system, this financial isolation historically meant that no major international conglomerate, sovereign bank, or shipping enterprise could risk trading with a sanctioned state without facing ruinous secondary penalties from Washington. The threat of being locked out of the U.S. financial system was an economic death sentence that almost no corporation on earth was willing to risk. However, game theory and structural history demonstrate that prolonged economic pressure invariably incentives the creation of alternative parallel systems. While the West viewed sanctions as a permanent, unchanging tool of absolute leverage, China and Iran treated them as a catalyst to build an entirely independent economic reality completely outside the Western financial matrix. When the latest blockade was initiated, Beijing did not issue aggressive diplomatic protests or engage in a direct, high-risk naval confrontation with American carrier strike groups. Instead, it quietly shifted the entire apparatus of its Iranian energy trade onto an alternative, non-dollar infrastructure that had been systematically, methodically constructed over the previous decade for exactly this moment. The first pillar of this parallel infrastructure is the Cross-Border Interbank Payment System, or CIPS, developed by Beijing as an explicit alternative to the SWIFT network. When Chinese state-aligned independent refineries, often referred to in the global energy markets as teapots, purchase Iranian crude oil, the transactions do not pass through New York clearinghouses, Western intermediary banks, or any network subject to American electronic surveillance. The capital moves entirely in renminbi through CIPS, leaving zero digital or financial footprint within the jurisdiction of Western regulatory authorities.
If you live in the United States, be prepared for this, as most Americans have no clue what's coming. And no, it's not another virus, another lockdown, or some political fight between the left and the right. What's coming is much more serious, and the frightening part is
That's coming
it's
too.
being hidden in plain sight. The media and our
Because these independent refineries do not possess assets in the West, do not rely on American technology, and do not conduct business in US dollars, they are structurally immune to the threat of secondary American sanctions. Washington can issue penalties and list entities endlessly, but it cannot penalize an enterprise that operates completely outside its sovereign financial reach. The second pillar of this survival mechanism is the physical logistics of the maritime trade itself, which utilizes what analysts call the dark fleet. This is an enormous network of uninsurable, older maritime tankers that operate under flags of convenience, routinely change their registered names, and constantly deactivate their automatic information systems to completely obscure their locations from satellite monitoring. Historically, Western sanctions relied on the fact that global maritime insurance is overwhelmingly dominated by a small cartel of protection and indemnity clubs based in London and Europe. If a ship cannot secure Western insurance, it cannot legally enter major international ports or transit through international shipping lanes. But China quietly neutralized this maritime choke point by establishing its own sovereign insurance pools and state-backed maritime indemnities specifically for vessels transporting strategic energy supplies from the Persian Gulf. When these dark fleet tankers dock at Chinese ports in Shandong province, they are cleared through domestic administrative protocols that ignore Western regulatory
Okay, I'm sorry. Whew. I was in the kitchen, heard the fire alarm. Yep, I know Auntie Fee has fire troubles, false alarms. No, that was that. That tea I had on too high. Fire. I see J-Bo. Fire. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm gonna back it up a little bit. And my little old fan, my cousin's obituary, I was trying to, and I couldn't reach it. It just wasn't getting up there. Okay, y'all ready? Good job. Yep. Let's go.
Deactivate their automatic information systems to completely obscure their locations from satellite monitoring. Historically, Western sanctions relied on the fact that global maritime insurance is overwhelmingly dominated by a small cartel of protection and indemnity clubs based in London and Europe. If a ship cannot secure Western insurance, it cannot legally enter major international ports or transit through international shipping lanes. But China quietly neutralized this maritime choke point by establishing its own sovereign insurance pools and state-backed maritime indemnities specifically for vessels transporting strategic energy supplies from the Persian Gulf. When these dark fleet tankers dock at Chinese ports in Shandong province, they are cleared through domestic administrative protocols that ignore Western regulatory frameworks entirely. The oil is transferred directly into China's massive strategic petroleum reserves or processed by domestic refineries, completely insulated from the physical and legal constraints of the American naval blockade. It is a closed-loop system where the buyer, the seller, the bank, the insurer, and the ships are all operating outside the Western imperial matrix. This brings us to the third and most critical dimension of this crisis, the profound transformation of global alliance structures. By quietly absorbing Iran's oil exports, China did not just act as a passive buyer, it effectively assumed the role of a geopolitical guarantor for the entire axis of resistance in the Middle East. When Donald Trump realized that the sanctions were failing to stop the flow of oil, he was forced to confront the harsh reality of the mercenary trap. The United States had
this is what happens when you sleep through business meetings, presidential meetings. Your ass is sleeping, snoring, and farting and shitting on yourself. You miss vital, important parts, news. Yeah, you miss it.
Alliance structures. By quietly absorbing Iran's oil exports, China did not just act as a passive buyer, it effectively assumed the role of a geopolitical guarantor for the entire axis of resistance in the Middle East. When Donald Trump realized that the sanctions were failing to stop the flow of oil, he was forced to confront the harsh reality of the mercenary trap. The United States had built its entire Middle Eastern policy on the assumption that it could dictate terms through economic isolation. But when a major industrial superpower like China provides an absolute economic floor for your adversary, the sanctions cease to function as a tool of coercion. They become a mechanism that accelerates the unification of Eurasian economic space. Consider the domestic political incentives inside China that drove this quiet intervention. Beijing is acutely aware that its long-term survival depends on breaking its vulnerability to what geostrategists call the Malacca dilemma.
Mark, finally, grab a drink. Can't stay long. Work stuff? Always.
The reality that a huge portion of China's energy imports must pass through the narrow Strait of Malacca, which can be easily blockaded by the U.S. Navy in the event of a conflict over Taiwan. By cultivating Iran as a permanent, deeply indebted energy partner, and by building out overland pipelines and dark maritime routes that bypass traditional Western choke points, China is systematically solving its own energy security equation. Saving Iran's oil economy was not an act of diplomatic charity. It was a cold, calculated structural investment in China's own multi-decade resistance against American hegemony. Furthermore, this dynamic completely changes the strategic calculations of the Gulf monarchies, such as Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. For generations, these states operated under the assumption that the United States held an absolute monopoly on economic and military coercion in the region. They priced their oil exclusively in dollars because they believed there was no viable alternative. But as they watched China quietly dismantle the Western sanctions regime, providing a flawless parallel financial infrastructure for Iran, the ruling elites in Riyadh and Abu Dhabi are learning a powerful historical lesson. They are realizing that the Western financial system is no longer the only game in town. This realization is why we are seeing a massive, quiet shift where the Gulf states are increasingly willing to negotiate bilateral trade agreements in local currencies, join Eastern security frameworks, and formally distance themselves from the unipolar mandates of Washington. To fully dissect why Donald Trump's advisors failed to predict this outcome, we must look at the flawed analytical framework that dominates the Washington consensus. Western strategic planning is heavily dependent on short-term horizons, quarterly economic performance data, and the visible optics of military deterrence. When the Pentagon deploys a carrier strike group, it measures success by tactical metrics: the number of sorties flown, the volume of airspace controlled, and the compliance of traditional allies. But this framework is completely blind to the slow, tectonic shifts that happen quietly within global logistics networks. While Washington was tracking the physical position of military hardware, Beijing was altering the fundamental rules of international economic transit. This structural divergence is best understood through the historical analogy of the late Roman Empire's reliance on external supply chains. Rome believed its hegemony was absolute because its legions could physically dominate any battlefield. But when the underlying trade routes, grain supplies, and financial systems began to operate independently of central imperial control, the military apparatus became a massive, unsustainable overhead cost.
Have you received
the
the
empire
lesson?
did not collapse because it lost a single decisive battle. It disintegrated because its administrative and economic leverage evaporated from the inside out.
Not yet,
In the modern
Monty.
context, the United States military remains the most destructive force on earth, but its capacity to translate that destructive
get
power
my,
into absolute
tablet.
economic compliance has been broken by the creation of parallel Eurasian institutions. The collapse of the sanctions weapon has immediate destabilizing effects on the domestic political dynamics of the United States. When Donald Trump campaigned on a platform of economic nationalism and geopolitical dominance, his strategy rested on the assumption that America could enforce its will through targeted economic warfare without incurring significant costs at home. But when sanctions fail to stop an adversary while simultaneously forcing global supply chains to restructure, the economic pain reverses direction. The blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, combined with the resilience of the Sino-Iranian trade corridor, keeps global energy prices elevated, driving structural inflation across the American domestic economy. The ordinary consumer faces rising grocery bills and surging transportation costs, leading to a rapid erosion of the political will required to sustain a long-term imperial posture. This internal political friction creates what game theorists call a negative feedback loop for the hegemon. As domestic discontent grows, the administration is forced to look for rapid, high-profile victories to justify its global strategy to an increasingly hostile electorate. But in a complex, multi-layered conflict, rapid victories do not exist. The choice becomes agonizing. Either escalate the conflict into a full-scale, highly dangerous ground war that the military cannot sustain, or quietly accept a face-saving diplomatic compromise that seals the end of unipolar dominance. By keeping Iran's oil flowing, China effectively denied Washington the option of a low-cost economic victory, forcing the American leadership to play a high-stakes game where every available move carries a catastrophic domestic political penalty. Let us look deeper into the structural configuration of the Dark Fleet itself, as this network represents the physical manifestation of the post-Western order.
If gabapentin is part of your routine, you need to hear this. Did you know that neuropathy symptoms are completely reversible? Let me explain why, and show you the fastest, easiest way to keep them under control without meds.
The vessels comprising this fleet are not operating in isolation. They are supported by a complex ecosystem of ghost corporations, shell registries.
Thank you. Hey, Melissa. Okay, so y'all, we have a new target goal now. It's just $50. No, $40. We need $40 to help me reach my goal. And I need for us to get the likes up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whoo, Monty and Janet for helping me reach my goal. Again, we only need $40 more to help me reach my goal today. Let's go, y'all.
And non-Western maritime logistics hubs stretching from the South China Sea to the Persian Gulf. When an Iranian tanker loads crude at Karg Island, its cargo is often transshipped multiple times at sea through ship-to-ship transfers in international waters, blending the oil with other registries and rendering it legally invisible to Western customs authorities by the time it reaches its destination. This is not an ad hoc criminal enterprise. It is a highly institutionalized, sovereign-backed alternative logistics matrix that operates completely outside the regulatory authority of the G7 nations. The development of this alternative maritime matrix exposes the ultimate limitation of the West's legalistic approach to international relations. For decades, the United States and its European allies assumed that because they wrote the rules of global shipping, maritime insurance, and international banking, those rules were equivalent to universal laws of nature. They assumed that an administrative decree issued in Washington or London could physically stop a hull from moving through the water. But history demonstrates that international law is only as powerful as the conventional force willing to enforce it on a daily basis. When the enforcement mechanism becomes too expensive to sustain against a decentralized network, the rules become irrelevant paper barriers that are simply bypassed by rising industrial powers. As we look toward the future configuration of the international order, the quiet rescue of Iran's energy economy will be viewed as the definitive turning point where the petrodollar system lost its systemic structural anchor. The petrodollar was never just a monetary agreement. It was the foundational architecture of global financial geography. It allowed the United States to run massive, unprecedented fiscal deficits for generations because the rest of the world was structurally forced to hold dollars to secure their own survival. The moment that structural force is dismantled, the entire edifice of American financial exceptionalism begins to unravel. The true, devastating consequence of a failed sanctions regime is that the weapon of financial isolation becomes permanently dull through overuse. When Washington forces a major economy like China to completely build out alternative financial messaging networks, sovereign insurance pools, and non-dollar trade corridors, it permanently diminishes the global utility and structural demand for the US dollar. Once these alternative systems are functional, resilient, and capable of handling hundreds of billions of dollars in strategic trade under the most intense wartime conditions, they do not simply disappear when the immediate conflict ends. They remain in place, offering a ready-made, battle-tested blueprint for any other nation seeking to insulate itself from Western political pressure. Donald Trump went into this war believing that the economic weapons of the 20th century, tariffs, asset freezes, swift bans, and naval blockades, were still sufficient to bring a civilizational state to its knees. He operated under the narrative that America's financial power was absolute and self-sustaining. But the moment China quietly stepped in and secured Iran's energy infrastructure, that narrative met reality. The structural transition toward a truly multipolar global economy is no longer a future prediction or a theoretical exercise. It is an active, unfolding reality that can no longer be contained by traditional mechanisms of economic warfare. The old illusions of absolute Western economic dominance have been shattered, and what emerges from the rubble of the sanctions regime is a new global architecture defined by the unyielding, parallel realities of Eurasian integration.
Hey everybody, Walter Goggins here. Starting a business is never easy, but with GoDaddy Arrow, that endeavor is about to become a whole lot easier.
Hey man, you got this?
Create a website that looks like you know what you're doing, even if you don't know what you're doing, because you're using a website that developed a tool that knows exactly what it's doing. It helps you design a logo. This is what we came up with. We put it here, we put it everywhere on our website, and we even put it
Likes
right
up,
here.
please. I have 152 people in here. 54 likes. $40 remaining on my goal. What we doing? Double tap the face of your screen. Hi, Donna. Okay, Donna, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if I missed something while I was in there with that clove tea. Can I get y'all to hit the double tap the face of your screen, please? If you're listening in on your phone device, or hit those three dots at the top right corner. I'm an hour and 25 minutes in. What we doing? What we doing? What we doing? People lurking. Ear hustling, trying to see if I'm gonna say something about that girl who did a live on me and hid it because she was scared. You know, they want to hear and see what I have to say to get ahead of it. They don't know when I'm gonna say what. Yeah. Get ready for the Bathtub Chronicles. But until then, in the meantime and in between time, y'all need to double tap the face of y'all phone or hit those three dots at the top right. She said, hey, Monty. Hey. Get the likes up, y'all. Come on, what we doing? Do I need to make y'all drop? Do I need to make y'all drop? We're naturally New Orleans. I was trying to ignore y'all today. I went to sleep on y'all last night. Yeah, I went to sleep on y'all last night. Naturally New Orleans kept reminding me, excuse me, Auntie Fee, you know you still have a live waiting. No trolls allowed over here. Keep it moving. Yeah, keep it moving or we will remove you. My tea sipper's quick. Yeah. Get the likes up. Let me see what they said. Let me see what they said. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that. Thank you. Hey, Mark. From Mississippi. MISSISSIPPI. Ooh, MISSISSIPPI. Hey. Hey, Mark. So y'all not gonna hit the like button? Okay, let's go. Now see, when I had to do this yesterday, it kicked me all the way out and I wasn't able to come back in. So for that reason, and that reason only, I ain't gonna do it. I almost did it. I almost kicked y'all out. Like I did hit. Thank you, Mark. I greatly appreciate it. I was fussing before you came in though. Hold on. Not really fussing, just trying to get people to do what they know they should already be doing. It don't make no sense. But they mad at me. They want to hear what I got to say about something else. And they not going to rush me. Oh, I got to go here. Oh, I got to go here. I got to go here. I got to go here before I go back. Powerful cross-examination. There's a lot going on, y'all, for y'all to be playing with me.
Breaking news, y'all.
Breaking news, my brothers. Breaking news. He's sick. He's sick, y'all. Diaper done. Him sick because the president of China yanked the rug from up under his title and position. And then, let me get in the middle. And then I told y'all about a month ago that Iran said, y'all, I ain't finna even entertain you. We don't have nothing else to talk about. If y'all want me to negotiate with anybody, dang it, it cut it off. Y'all see that darker shade of brown in his hand coming off of that plane. When President Obama stepped foot off that plane, Jing Chong Hun Shu was there to meet him. Was there to meet him. You see what color his hand is, and you see, I don't know why it didn't show his face. Oh my goodness. It needs to show President Obama's face, and it just won't. None of them won't show his face. But the only person that he wanted to talk to was president with some sense, president with some intellect. Yeah, a president who knew how to negotiate. I mean, and it just don't want me to show his face, do it? Oh my goodness, why won't it let me show his face? Huh? The only president that have some sense that we are willing to talk to, name is President Barack Obama. Yeah, so all of that, oh, he doesn't like him. He doesn't respect him. Nobody does. Y'all remember that's what he said when he got his face crunched. Yeah, give me that. His face got crunched. Hold on, my brothers. Yeah, I know it's exciting. It's very exciting. Get my likes up. It's very, very, very exciting that he got his face crunched. Yeah, y'all don't know nothing about that face crunch. Y'all too young for that crunch. When they used to get up in your face and snatch that. Yeah, your face got crunched. Yeah, y'all don't know nothing about that, boo-boo. See, we had ways of cussing you out without doing all that profanity. Yeah, we just crunch your face. Your face got crunched. Ooh, girl, she crunched you. He got his face crunched. Yeah. And then it's coming out that the only person that he didn't want to talk to, old Trump, he didn't want to talk to him. So China tried to talk to him, but Iranians said, no, I don't know, don't even try it. Only person that we want to talk to is the one with some sense. And that sense came from President Obama. Well, it's coming out. After China, it's coming out. It's coming out. I'm coming out. I want the world to know. Him. That one. Let's go.
Iran said to Trump.
Ooh. Did they say it in his face?
Breaking news, y'all. Oh, this is hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Iran said to Trump and his administration, we're not going to do any negotiation. We'll only talk to Barack Obama. They said we want to talk to Barack
Live your
Obama
life.
for negotiations or nothing. And Trump is mad as fuck right now. Because Iran...
He mad as what? Him mad. Or he lost at the head, baby. He yanked that. I think this is not. It's maybe the one where you see it at a better angle. He got snatched damn near off his feet. Oh my God. Oh Lord. And then they just say he was just. Why was he patting on his hand? Shit. He was signaling, "Let me go. My hand is suffocating. What are you doing?" Oh, okay. You win the tug of war. God, I'm not. This is, you notice my sick hand? Somebody, you notice my sick hand? Hell, both them hands are handicapped, ain't they? Got bruises for days. Let's go. Yeah, this is who they need to talk to. They don't want to talk to nobody but him. Let's go.
Breaking news, y'all. Oh, this is hilarious. Iran said to Trump
Hey, Junior.
and his administration, we're not going to do any negotiation. We'll only talk to Barack Obama. They said we want to talk to Barack Obama for negotiations or nothing.
So y'all remember when they lost Virginia? And Trump said, this is what Barack wanted. And then all of a sudden the judge pulled back on it, then started making up laws and rules. Hey, Big Al, laws and rules to stop the gerrymandering that they started. And the president that only Iran want to talk to stepped in and turned and things around. He said, move out of my way. I know what needs to be done to get this win. When they want it, and the people turned out and they want it, the people stood on solid ground and they want it. They want it. Yeah, because Barack Obama stepped up and showed out. Trump and them waddling their thumbs like a little old kid. Didn't know what to do. Yeah, they went in there and started cheating because Barack stepped up and showed out. Now, the word is out that Iran said only person we will communicate with, the only person we will make deals with. His name is Big Brother, Big Boo, Barack Obama. Yeah, he went to China thinking that China was his friend and had his back. China grabbed that weak hand, tried to reach for, hell, that's weak too. So he squeezed that hand real tight. Yeah, gripped it and then squeezed it. Boy, you could ask Scoot about that when he be trying to test how strong I am. Squeezed that hand and I almost lost every beat in that hand. That hand was suffocating. It was about to turn a whole different color of red. He said, okay. I said before you come over here on that bullshit, these are the only things we can talk about. And don't you dare open your mouth to try to negotiate a mother thing about Taiwan. Matter of fact, don't say nothing with a T. So what he thought he was going to do was bypass Iran and get China to negotiate on his behalf. And they all over there kicked up with their feet on the table, laughing at you and that weak ass hand. And now you got to hear them say, in order to fix this mess that your ass done started, you got to let us talk to President Barack Obama. Damn, Auntie Fee, your turn that strong, girl. Damn. Can you twirl that tongue again, Auntie Fee? You better not be able to do it back to back, because you's a senior citizen. Your skills should not still be that good. Now I couldn't do it, so I guess it's not. Yeah, let's go. Let go. Let go. Hit the like button. Yes, April, did you? What April say? Hey, Monique. What happened when they miss Holland, Haiti? Yeah, let's listen to y'all. Double tap the face of y'all screen. Help me reach my goal today. I got $40 more remaining. Let's go.
And Trump is mad as fuck.
He gonna be mad. Because he gonna have to have... Who can he have to contact President Barack Obama and ask for help? Now, I know y'all know, and I know you know I know. Everybody know. He don't want to have to do that. That means you not just failed. You are the loser of the decade, baby. Because I know you don't want to have President Obama go back and negotiate what you tore up that was already in place. And you tried to undo everything that this genius right here was able to do. See, this is why I tell people. They was like, oh, Barack Obama did what President Obama do? He didn't do nothing. He did. They know it. Whether your slow ass know it or not, they know it. They know it. That's why he won a second term. They know it. They know he did remarkable things. But our slow asses, not me though, only wanted him to do something for people of the 50 Shades of Brown. You see his face? You see how many colors of brown in his face? He couldn't just do it for one. He had to do what Dr. Martin Luther King started. And that was for equality. That man died for equality. Why is this saying battery? Why is it not charging? Hold on. Let me fix this. Lord, today been fixed a day.
Oh, this is hilarious. Iran said to Trump and his administration, we're not going to do any negotiation. We'll only talk to Barack Obama. They said we want to talk to Barack Obama for negotiations or nothing. And Trump is mad as fuck right now because Iran respects Obama. Obama is the OG. Iran said we want to negotiate only with Obama.
Hey, the real OG.
Not you. Wow, y'all. Obama, get yours, man.
Come on, y'all. I thought this was fake. Iran said they only gonna negotiate with the GOAT, the greatest of all time. They only gonna negotiate with Obama. What the hell? Come on, y'all. It's crazy, right?
Iran is saying they would rather hold talks. They would rather hold talks with Barack Obama and not Donald Trump anymore. They feel like Barack Obama is a better person to do a dialogue with, to have a conversation and hold talk with than Donald Trump. Now I understand why when Barack Obama was rising to power, a lot of people shed tears. A lot of people cried, the tears of happiness. And the same thing did not happen when Donald Trump was rising to power.
This is how you can uncover all the secrets of your family that no one ever told you. There is a platform where you can search billions of historical records, uncovering hidden stories of your ancestors. You start by entering a name, and the platform scans newspapers, birth notices, military documents, obituaries, everything. I found this newspaper from 1898, reporting on a daring rescue my great-grandmother performed during a flood. She saved lives, and nobody in my family ever talked about it. You can explore African-American newspapers from 1827 onwards. See military records, obituaries, slave records. It's all there.
I had been searching on other websites.
Oh yeah, I got to show y'all what Room Shaker sent me. God, dog, I'm glad. I'm glad that said that.
When I tried it,
Room Shaker, you still here? You should have reminded me. Yeah.
America negotiated from a position of strength and principle.
Auntie Fee, you're missing some play toys. What that mean? Oh, you wait. What? Trump punching? He's swinging in the air, big air. Woo! He's swinging in the air. Huh? Look at this young fella here. Huh? Swinging in the air. Mr. Tom, what? I'm missing some trolls. Oh, they ain't gonna come in here. Now, I didn't put Barack name in the I need to add his name to the, what is it called? The title, because I didn't go live last night. They don't want to talk about that. Oh, no. Where they at? Where they at? I ain't going to unleash them. Y'all, come on. I need for y'all to hit the April, dear, that you come in with Mark. Do I need to double check LTP still got them skills? Yeah, no. Marcus. Marcus, darling. Y'all, what movie is that? Marcus, darling. I don't have no PTs on. And the lights went out. What was that, Boomerang? Okay, hold on, Mark. You want to be blocked? Is that what you're saying? Oh, Mark, you came in on some disrespectful. Y'all say bye to Mark. Say bye to Mark. Bye, baby. Yeah, she asked you a question. You need to answer my mods. So if they don't get you out, because Miss Tom like playing with y'all sometimes. Janet don't. Naturally, Nolans ain't gonna play with you either. Now, Miss Tom will play with you. And then when you think you finna, go there, she gonna nip you. Yeah, I ain't gonna play with you. My likes ain't up. I ain't reached the last $40 of my goal, so bro, bye. Oh, you timed him out for 5 minutes and he came in and said, I'm still here. Okay, but now you're not. Now you're not. Now you gone forever. Okay, I'm finna start over, y'all. Listen. Give my likes up. Please don't make me go out. I mean, don't do that. I'm enjoying myself right now. Yeah, Miss Tom will play with you. She'll play with you. And then I see the talking smart to her, and then I shut it all down. Be like, well, what? That ain't, you know where you at? Do you know where you at? She gonna play with you. I'm gonna put you out, and then we gonna laugh at you. See, that's how they go. She gonna play with you. I'm gonna put you out, and then we gonna laugh as you exit. That's how they go. High five to my team. Yeah, come on, y'all, let's go. So I can get these likes up, get my support, my last $40 support, and then I'm gonna continue with the tea. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I shut it down for my tea sippers, baby. We ain't gonna do that, not at all. Let's go.
Breaking news, y'all. Oh, this is hilarious. Iran said to Trump and his administration, we're not going to do any negotiation.
None.
We'll only talk to Barack Obama.
Big bro.
They said we want to talk to Barack Obama for negotiations or nothing.
Big bro.
And Trump is mad as fuck right now.
Because
Iran respects Obama. Obama is the OG. Iran said we want to negotiate only with Obama, not you. Wow, y'all. Obama, get yours, man.
Come on, y'all. I thought this was fake. Iran said they only gonna negotiate with the GOAT, the greatest of all time. They only gonna negotiate with Obama.
The Michael Jordan
of
president.
It's crazy, right?
Iran is saying they would rather hold talks. They would rather hold talks with Barack Obama and not Donald Trump anymore. They feel like Barack Obama is a better person to do a dialogue with, to have a conversation and hold talk with, than Donald Trump. Now I understand why when Barack Obama was rising to power, a lot of people shed tears. A lot of people cried, the tears of happiness. And the same thing did not happen when Donald Trump was rising to power.
America negotiated from a position of strength and principle. We have stopped the spread of nuclear weapons in this region. Because of this deal, the international community will be able to verify that the Islamic Republic of Iran will not develop a nuclear weapon. This deal meets every single one of the bottom lines that we established when we achieved a framework earlier this spring. Every pathway to a nuclear weapon is cut off, and the inspection and transparency regime necessary to verify that objective will be put in place. Because of this deal, Iran will not produce the highly enriched uranium and weapons-grade plutonium that form the raw materials necessary for a nuclear bomb. Because of this deal, Iran will remove 2/3 of its installed centrifuges, the machines necessary to produce highly enriched uranium for a bomb, and store them under constant international supervision. Iran will not use its advanced centrifuges to produce enriched uranium for the next decade. Iran will also get rid of 98% of its stockpile of enriched uranium. To put that in perspective, Iran currently has a stockpile that can produce up to 10 nuclear weapons. Because of this deal, that stockpile will be reduced to a fraction of what would be required for a single weapon. This stockpile limitation will last for 15 years. Because of this deal, Iran will modify the core of its reactor in Iraq so that it will not produce weapons-grade plutonium. And it has agreed to ship the spent fuel from the reactor out of the country for the lifetime of the reactor. For at least the next 15 years, Iran will not build any new heavy water reactors. Because of this deal, we will, for the first time, be in a position to verify all of these commitments.
Barack Obama and Donald Trump are two different kinds of presidents, okay? And we can be able to see this from many things. We've had people speaking, we've had people giving their perspectives towards the two presidents and their views towards the two presidents, and they're going to realize that Barack Obama is a different kind of a president compared to Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He a different type
Now,
of man. Y'all, it's 307 people listening in. I need for y'all to get those likes up. Do not come in here without wiping your feet and hitting the like button. What do you get out? If you can't double tap the face of your phone or hit the three dots at the top right and show some consideration and appreciation for me being able to find the truth for you, because you're too lazy to do it on your own. And I know you haven't because of the way y'all talk. Yeah. Then go ahead and leave and let us tea sippers enjoy the truth. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and leave. Y'all crazy. Y'all like being simple-minded. Y'all don't like hearing the truth and showing support for it. Y'all on that jive turkey bull crap. Jive turkey bull crap. Yeah, that's what y'all like. And then y'all want to be like, well, I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. I don't know. Yeah, you don't know nothing because you slow. Get my lights up, but get out. See, y'all can't even do that right. Yeah, go on, start dropping. I'm talking to you. If you ain't hit my like button, I'm talking to you. If you haven't helped me reach my goal, my Cash App, $ AUNTEAFEE, I'm talking to you. When you see Janet put how many people in here listening and those likes don't go up, you already should know I'm coming with my big ass smile. Trump has been demoted. Last Cash App I received to show support was it 6 what? 647. Get my likes up, y'all. Come on now. Double tap the face of your phone or hit those three dots at the top right or leave. Keep leaving.
Been asking myself questions. Why is it that suddenly Iran would be going ahead and asking for the negotiations with Barack perspectives towards the two
So
presidents?
I'm sure China
the
probably contacted the leader and they still saying I'm not yeah, but now I want to talk to Barack. Because, see, they trying to humiliate him. That would be the most humiliating thing. We thought him getting handled in China was bad. To have the Republican Party Congress or somebody to reach out to Barack and say, I mean, you help Virginia, you can help us. If you want, do it for the citizens. Do it till you're satisfied. You know, do it for them. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt like that Chinese man hurt his hand squeezing on it and wouldn't let it go. Let's go.
Barack Obama and Donald Trump are two different kinds of presidents, okay? And we can be able to see this from many things. We've had people speaking, we've had people giving their perspectives towards the two presidents and their views towards the two presidents, and they're going to realize that Barack Obama is a different kind of a president compared to Donald Trump, okay? Now, I've been asking myself questions. Why is it that suddenly Iran would be going ahead and asking for the negotiations with Barack Obama, or saying that negotiations or talks with Barack Obama was successful and it was better compared to the talks they've been having with Donald Trump? And when I watched this video right here, I got the answer to the question that I was asking myself.
The problem is when Americans, the current administration, talk about a deal, in fact, they want to dictate what they want.
Oh, this is coming from him. It's coming from him, y'all. It's coming from, okay, let's go.
When I watched this video right here, I got the answer to the question that I was asking myself.
The problem is when Americans, the current administration, talk about a deal, in fact, they want to dictate what they want. And this is what we experienced. As recently as 2 months ago in New York. We are ready for negotiation, but not for dictation. We are ready to go for a deal, but for a fair and balanced deal, not a one-sided deal.
How prepared are you if there were a follow-on Israeli attack on Iran?
We are even more prepared than the previous war.
Can you elaborate? In what way are you prepared?
You know, our missiles are, in a better position, quantity-wise and quality-wise. We have learned many lessons during the 12-day war. We have learned, we understood our weak points and our points of strength, and Israelis' weak points. They have worked on all of them, and they are fully prepared, even better than the previous time. It doesn't mean that we want war. As the best way to prevent a war is to be prepared for that.
The difference between Barack Obama and Donald Trump is one. The other one is a dictator, and the other one is a leader and a servant. That is the difference between the two presidents. One of them is a dictator. One of them wants to rule over people, and the other one wants to serve the people. That's the two main difference between Barack Obama and Donald Trump. When you look at how Trump is solving matters, or how he's solving problems, you're going to realize that Donald Trump is a man that wants to dictate. Even when there is talks, even when there is a dialogue that wants to be held, he wants to dominate. He wants to dictate. He wants to come in that table and say, I'm giving you commands to do this and this and this and this.
Hey, she's our baby, not a toy.
To many other people, that is not a dialogue. That is giving orders. Iran, on the other hand, they are saying, we are no longer taking orders from any single person. We are great people. We are grown-up people. We are big people. We are not children. We are not taking order. We are a state as Iran. We are an Islamic state as Iran. The same way America is a state, we are also a state. Nobody has been or nobody is entitled to be dragging us around as children. And that is the problem that is between Donald Trump and Iran right now. That is why you find out that when you compare how Trump has resolved matters in Iran during this war that has been going on, and how Barack Obama resolved matters during his time when he was the president, it is very different, you know, because during Barack Obama's time, he was able to achieve what he was looking for. He was able to achieve, you know, the goal that he was up to, okay? And him and Iran were very much okay. They all agreed, they both agreed in what they were talking about, in what they were discussing, and everybody was okay. There was peace. Compared to what Trump is doing now, bombing, you know, striking, and trying to demolish Iran so that Iran can accept what he wants to do. He's trying to use power to make the people accept what he wants, okay? While on the other side, Barack Obama was trying to have a dialogue where everybody can talk. I can be able to understand you, you can be able to understand me, and we can be able to live however we want, all of us together, with everybody satisfied, okay? This is the time that Israel commanded Barack Obama many times to strike Iran, you know, and they gave a warning. They said, if you don't bomb Iran, we are going to do it. And Barack Obama told them, go ahead and do it. Because Barack Obama did not have that in mind. What he had in mind is a talks that will bring peace, a talks that will satisfy everybody. It's going to satisfy me, and it's going to satisfy them, okay? And that is the biggest difference between Donald Trump and Barack Obama. One of them is a dictator. One of them is a servant. He's a leader. He's a person who is ready to listen to everybody. One of them is a man that wants to be calling for the shots. He wants to rule over people. He wants to be the one saying everything. He wants to be the one making decisions. Now, take a look at these videos. And then, as you're watching the video, prepare your thoughts. Have them shared in the comment section. And I'm going to do my best to read all the comments and give a response where possible. I am Atama, and this is African Streamline. Let's take a look at the video, and then I'll come back and say more in regards to the same.
So Iran just tweeted out that they will only negotiate with Obama. Yeah, they said, sorry, we're holding out for the GOAT. Yeah, we're not talking to you. We were going to wait for President Obama, the greatest president of all time. We ain't fucking with you, but we're chilling here by the sea.
Boy, and you wonder why they are trying to wipe black people out. Nobody there to negotiate for them. Y'all see what's happening? Back to the Jim Crow. This Obama, you know, just making us look like a dang fool. Y'all remember when Auntie Fee kept saying they trying to rewrite the Bible? The Bible says right now will be our time. It will be greater later. It's later. It's later. It's later now. It's later. It's later. It's later. Yeah, and now he got them saying, woo wee, ooh wee, where you at? Where you at? If we really want to end this and open up the Strait of Hormuz, the person that we worked with before this clown got in office is the only one we'll work with now. He the only one that made sense. Wasn't trying to create demands to line his pockets. He had the United States of America in his best interest, not dark or light. Everybody. Everybody. He sent his son, he got his mafia coming with him to China like they finna strong arm something. Give a fuck who you bring. Ain't nobody scared of you. Say, ain't nobody scared of you. Say, ain't nobody scared of you. Yeah. Yeah, that's why their hand was swollen when he left. After y'all had y'all final meet and greet. He ain't want to fool with you too long. Go and get him. Go and get him. I don't feel like it. He don't bathe and shit. He funky. Yeah, he don't know he stink. And maybe he think that stink is intimidating. Man ain't been talking to no grown-ass man with a damn diaper on and he don't know how to change his diaper. He don't know he rotten on the inside like a damn demon. Yeah, he don't know he rotten. Funky as hell. That's why his smart farts smell like the damn sewage. Yeah. Yeah, them pipes and shit. That whole all the, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, he don't know because he's demonic. Spirits have odors. Yeah, they laughing at him. He's sick as a dog because they calling on President Barack. The GOAT. He the GOAT. He the Michael Jordan of presidents. Bottom line.
We're holding out for the GOAT.
Holding out for the GOAT.
We're not talking to you. We were going to...
Weirdo.
Obama. Yeah. They said, sorry, we're holding out for the GOAT.
Holding out for the GOAT.
Yeah, we're not talking to you. We were going to wait for President Obama, the greatest president of all time.
Shoe fly don't bother me.
We ain't fucking with you, but we're chilling here by the Strait of Hormuz until you send in the varsity team. We will only negotiate with Obama. Oh my, Trump's head is going to explode.
Absolutely. I don't know what to say. He finna try to punish us, y'all.
Trump, there will be ketchup, french fries, and cheeseburgers hitting every wall of the White House tonight because Iran is straight trolling Trumpy McDumper pants. He's wiper, clean up on the aisle, Oval Office. Yeah, he got a big load right now after this one. Yeah, Iran is
clean up.
trolling Trump. They said they're
Hi,
only
Barbara.
going to negotiate with Barack Obama.
Obama said, 2 weeks ago, that Netanyahu came and said, if you don't attack Iran, we're going to use nuclear weapons. And Obama said, go ahead, use them. We need to operate utterly independently of the Israelis. I've said a million times, I'm going to repeat it. Starting in the mid-1980s when Ronald Reagan was president, every single Israeli prime minister, no matter who it was, when they came to the United States, and they come all the time, they would say, please attack Iran, please attack Iran, please attack Iran. And every single president said, I'm not going to do it. Obama said, 2 weeks ago, that Netanyahu came and said, if you don't attack Iran, we're going to use nuclear weapons. And Obama said, go ahead, use them.
Use them.
And he called the bluff, and they didn't use them. Since 1986, the Iranians have been 6 months away from a nuclear weapon. Well, guess what? No, they're not. That's a lie. There have been two national intelligence estimates. What a national intelligence estimate is it's a sense of the community, of the intelligence community, formal paper, and this is important. If the CIA writes a paper, oh, okay, congratulations. The CIA believes this, or DIA believes that, or State Department believes this other thing. An NIE, National Intelligence Estimate, is you have all 18 intelligence agencies sitting around a giant table in the offices of the National Intelligence Council, and they're going sentence by sentence. Okay, the first sentence is, and the National Intelligence Officer reads it. Anybody have any objections? And all 18 people get to weigh in. It takes weeks normally to coordinate a paper like this. All 18 intelligence agencies concluded decisively, twice, that the Iranians did not have a nuclear weapons program. 2003,
They just been
and the other
lying.
one was like 2009, something like that. And in addition, Ayatollah Khamenei issued a fatwa saying that it was a sin to develop a nuclear weapon, and that's why they were not enriching to weapons grade levels.
Yeah.
And the Israelis said they didn't give a shit. They want us to bomb, bomb, bomb.
First off, I'm surprised that any
You fill a room with 18 different agencies, I'm actually surprised anything ever in the world gets accomplished.
I'm not exaggerating when I tell you I never hated anything in my entire career as much as coordinating an NIE. I was the Deputy National Intelligence Officer for a while. And then to get promoted to GS-14, I had to write an NIE. So I wrote this NIE in 1997, and it was called Iraq, Saddam's next 12 months. And we coordinated it in 8 hours. And the National Intelligence Officer, Ben Bonk, God rest his soul, terrific guy, he came to me afterwards and he said, that was the fastest coordination session for an NIE that I've seen in 25 years. And I said, this one was actually pretty easy, Ben. Saddam could threaten Kuwait. Saddam could threaten the Kurds. Saddam could threaten the Shias. Saddam will probably try.
All right, you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of Trump, but credit where credit is due, because I just read through the terms of the new agreement with Iran, and it is a massive win for the United States. First, he got them to give up 11 tons of enriched uranium. That's 98% of their supply. They agreed to dismantle 13,000 centrifuges used to enrich nuclear material, and they agreed to cap the purity level of the little enriched uranium they still produce at 3.67%, which is 1/30th the level you'd need to make a bomb. And to ensure they don't go off the rails, they agreed to allow independent inspectors who conduct on-site inspections of all of their nuclear sites, including undisclosed locations we discovered through surveillance. On top of that, the Strait of Hormuz stays open and Iran gets no additional cut of oil that flows through it.
Stays open. We can't get past it. Who is this clown?
Sorry, I read that wrong. Those were the exact terms of the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, also known as the Iran nuclear deal signed by President Obama. That deal was so thorough and so well executed that in every single one of the more than a dozen independent inspections, Iran was fully compliant, including all of the inspections conducted by Donald Trump's own State Department. And on top of that, Obama's deal took the Strait off the table as leverage, because in exchange for giving up their nuclear weapons program, they got relief from sanctions on oil sales. So closing the Strait would have hurt them just as much as anyone else. But Trump tore up the deal anyway, because just like with the Affordable Care Act, any policy that proves Obama was 1,000 times the president Trump will ever be is an unacceptable living reminder of Donald Trump's incompetence and inadequacy, because there is nothing Trump hates more than a mirror that tells the truth.
Boy, we was finna eat him up. What we Charlie and Richard. Well, we was finna eat him up. We was finna eat him alive. Quit lying. Quit lying, boy. Quit lying. Bozo. But he telling the truth. He did the old switcheroo. What he was saying was Barack, not Trump. Yeah. Everything is opposite. When he said, that China don't like Barack. Nobody does. That's him. He talking about himself. China don't like him. Nobody does. So everything that's true to him, he put on Barack Biden. But everybody love President Barack Obama. Yeah. Everybody know he's intelligent. So he flips it around. Don't nobody like him. He's not smart. He's overrated. He's overrated. That's hate. That's that devil. Yeah, get over it. Tap him on the shoulder politely and say, dog, I'm sorry. Can you help me? Ask him for some help. Get on your knees. Begging you, please. Please help me out this shit I got myself in. Yeah.
Is an unacceptable living reminder of Donald Trump's incompetence and inadequacy, because there is nothing Trump hates more than a mirror that tells the truth about his reflection. Of
Absolutely.
Cheeto, who is somehow simultaneously both twice the man and half the man that Obama continues to be. So with the deal torn up, within a year Iran had enough enriched uranium to be a problem, so sanctions were reimposed and the Strait was turned back into a hostage. But because Donald Trump can't make a deal durable enough to serve as President Obama's toilet paper, he painted himself into a corner and had no choice but to turn to the military to try and bury the problems he couldn't solve with a pen.
Look, this has been a long story when it comes to Iran. And back during the Obama administration, the Israelis were pushing President Obama to take military action against Iran, and were warning that they would do it themselves if he didn't. And he wouldn't, because he thought the better way to get at the nuclear program, which is what we were focused on, was through very muscular diplomacy backed up by very, very strong sanctions that we rallied the world to put in place. And then we got the Iran nuclear agreement.
All right. Welcome back again. Now, I want to tell you something, and this is something that I want you to get to your head to get it clear from me right now.
Eating that
There are
ass
people
up.
in the world that they have been created a different way. Now, we have Donald Trump, who feels like whenever I put a threat upon somebody, he's gonna do whatever I want them to do. There are people, they want to be approached very gently. They want to be approached very slowly and very smoothly, and with love and with concern. There are people that when you push them to the wall, they're going to respond. There are people that when you push them to the wall, they become more rude and they become more hard. One thing that Donald Trump didn't realize is the fact that he's dealing with people that have nothing to lose. He's dealing with people that are ready for whatever comes, and they've prepared themselves for whatever comes their way. That is one thing that Donald Trump didn't realize. Okay? And so, when Trump was actually trying to do this, he was doing it because he looked at himself and he felt like, I am the man. I'm the most powerful man. Nobody can contradict me. Nobody needs to answer me or to question me on every single decision that I'm making. And that is why Donald Trump was even able to start a war without consulting nobody. To start a war without even including nobody. He started it by himself. That is why he got to a point when he was overwhelmed. He needed help. But nobody could help him. Why? Because he did not include them. He didn't go to them for a verification before beginning or before starting this war.
Best way to unclog your arteries? Cut out salt? Nope. Take blood pressure meds? Nope. Follow the DASH diet? Nope.
Okay? Iran, on the other hand, they've been so hard and they're saying, we are not kids. Nobody is entitled to be dragging us around as kids. We are a state. We are a state. We have, the rights to make our own decisions, however we want them, to do things however we want them. That is Iran. Okay? And now, Donald Trump said, I'm going to hit them hard until they respond. Iran, on the other hand, said, you hit us, we hit you until you listen to us. The only thing we want from you is a listening mind, is a listening ear. That is the only thing we earn. There is nothing else we are actually expecting from you, or we are trying to, suck from you. We only want you to listen. Listen up. We are not here to try and compete with anybody. We are here to try and find our peace. We are here to try and build up our own state, the same way you're building up your own state. All right? And so what you're doing right now, we are trying to build up ourselves. And so we want you to listen to us. Give us a listening ear. You're building up yourself. Nobody's interfering. Let us build up ourselves, and nobody should interfere. But America under Donald Trump wants to interfere to the, the growth or to the affairs of Iran. They're not only interfering, they're interfering in a wrong way. They're interfering in a dictatorship way, where I'm coming to your country. If I ask all of you out of your country and leave that country empty, you must do that because I am Donald Trump. You see, when Donald Trump was coming to power, he really criticized the fact that Barack Obama gave $1.7 billion to Iran. He criticized it. He even went ahead and he exaggerated, saying that all the banks in America were, their cash was stripped out for that money to be taken to Iran. He said that in his time, he's not going to do that. Today, because
he give it to Israel.
Around, and Iran is not ready to listen to Trump anymore, because he has done all kinds of things that, he has already gone out of the line. He has already, he has already misbehaved and all of that. Now, Iran is not ready to listen to him. To an extent, he wants to give them $20 billion. When he was actually criticizing Barack Obama for giving Iran $1.7 billion, today he is criticizing, he is himself went to give Iran $20 billion. Well, that is about 10 times of the money that Barack Obama gave to Iran. It's about 10 times of the money that Barack Obama gave to Iran. He's want to give $20 billion. So if he said Barack Obama, took every cash from all the banks in America. Now, let me ask you a question. What has he done? What does he want to do? You know, and you know, media and internet doesn't forget. All these things are around. They're circulating everywhere.
So
You
yeah.
see, right now, Iran doesn't want the money that America wants to give. 20 billion, 30 billion, 100 billion, 500 billion, it doesn't matter. He does not want any single money that is coming from America. They want to make a deal with a sober-minded and a like-minded individual, because they are calling and they are referring to Barack Obama as a like-minded individual, person or somebody who was able to listen to them, who
They
they
got
were
some
able to
sense.
make an effective deal, and that deal was nice. You know, Barack Obama was able to convince Iran not to make any, or not to keep on circulating the nuclear weapons, not to build the nuclear weapons. How did they reach that deal? They reached that deal because they were dealing with somebody with a sober-minded, with a like-minded, somebody who was ready to listen to the other party, to the other people, somebody who was ready to sit down and see and listen. What is it that the other people are saying? What is it that the other person is saying? You know, if we go this way, will they be satisfied? Will we be satisfied? When we look at DJT's government, he's not a man that is up to mutual benefit or a win-win situation. He is a man that is up to, or a man that has always been up to,
He only want to take.
him
He don't want to give.
being on top, him giving a command. That is what he has always been up to. All right? Now, tell me what you think about it. Do you really think that Barack Obama is a man that needs to be consulted when it comes to this? Do you think that Iranians are on the right track, or they have a reason for them to say they need Barack than DJT? You know? Because
Well, Barack, first of all, Iran is trying to negotiate. They are really trying to negotiate. And because they could turn around and just start bombing. They already winning. Let's keep it real. See, this is what happens when all you do is lie. You know, you don't even want to acknowledge that you are losing. You're losing. So Iran could say, up there, we'll just keep bombing them. Yeah, making them use up what remaining weapons they have. Yeah. I mean, it ain't like we on the bottom. We on top. And they still trying to negotiate. This is kind of what I be... Y'all get the likes up. Get the likes up. Shit. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Trying to be nice. Trying to be right. Trying to be sovereign. Trying to do it with morals and integrity. Why they are winning? They did not start it. They absolutely did not start this war. But yet and still, the one who started it wanted to act like he got a leg to stand on. Like he on top. He don't even want to take ownership that he got us at the bottom. So yeah, I don't blame them. You know, they don't want to seem like they just the straight up bad guy. Yeah. Now, let me get back to this one.
Not as a Republican. But
No, this ain't the one. Yes, it is. Dang, I think this is the one that. Did another one come out? Hold on.
Now look, folks, pull up a chair for a minute. I want to talk to you tonight, not as a Democrat,
Hold on.
not as a Republican,
I just want to make sure this ain't the one we've
but as
already
somebody who
had.
once sat behind that desk in the Oval Office.
Hold on. There's a lot going on today, baby. It is a lot going on. Hold on. It was two of them. Look at me, it's an update. Hold on. One of them I stopped. Oh man, they posted a video of what was really going on. Hold on, let me get
miles to fight a war. Donald Trump is losing it as more video is surfacing from his disastrous trip to China, and overwhelmingly the response to his trip is that it was an utter failure. I want to show you some of the videos that have surfaced, but let me just show you what Trump has been doing this morning. It's been post after post after post. He says that John Brennan is a traitor. He's leading coups against me. Donald Trump's posting random videos of somebody pretending
was that
to
Barack?
be blind.
Was that Barack down? Hold on. Was that Barack?
To show you what Trump has been doing this morning. It's been post after post after post. He says that John Brennan is a traitor. He's leading coups against me. Donald Trump's posting random videos of somebody pretending to be blind to see if people will help him out as a blind man. And when they help him out, he gives them money. Okay, weird to be posting that video today. And Trump goes, "This is so cool. Watch." Shouldn't you be dealing with the Strait of Hormuz? Shouldn't you be dealing with the crashing markets right now? Shouldn't you be dealing with the fact that the American people can't afford things and are suffering right now? Oh, wait. When you were in China, you said, "I don't care about the financial condition. I don't care about it one bit." He continues to make post after post this morning. House Judiciary Chairman urges the DOJ to permanently dismiss all Trump cases after a bombshell report. He attacks Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, a disloyal disaster. He attacks the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul. She's a Democrat. That's a new word that Donald Trump uses, Democrat. He attacks Jack Smith and Biden, and he goes, "Biden, they're secretly setting me up. They want me arrested after my term is over. They want me arrested."
He know he in trouble, y'all.
Some of these videos that are surfacing.
He know he in trouble.
Are just absolutely crushing him.
He know.
Democrat.
He know he been stripped.
Democrat. He attacks Jack Smith. Senator Bill Cassidy, a disloyal disaster. He attacks the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul. She's a Democrat. That's a new word that Donald Trump uses, Democrat. He attacks Jack Smith and Biden, and he goes, "Biden, they're secretly setting me up. They want me arrested after my term is over. They want me arrested." Let me now show you some of these videos that are surfacing that he knows are just absolutely crushing him. So we've been hearing now from a lot of people in China what their reaction is to this visit. And they all say, "Wow, Xi Jinping looks so strong." And Donald Trump just looked like a cartoon. He looked like a clown. Like, how is that a serious leader? Let me show you what one lady, and I could show you hundreds of clips like this. I'll just show you one clip of like what they're saying in China right now. Let's play this clip.
I honestly feel like this is nothing more than some kind of superficial performative friendliness. Because in my opinion, Trump acts much more like an internet influencer than he does like an actual world leader. And honestly, sometimes the things he does really make you stop and wonder if that is how a leader ought to behave. So he's more like, to put it bluntly, he gives off a bit of an attention-seeking vibe. It just feels that way. Plus, he's a bit too focused on his own thoughts and doesn't really consider what others think.
So other videos are surfacing as well of Donald Trump showing how he was being dominated by Xi Jinping and how he just wanted to be liked by Xi Jinping. Like this one right here. Does Donald Trump, this is what this account says, does Donald Trump think if he touches Xi enough times, they'll become best friends? Why does he keep petting him or patting him like this? It's so damn weird. Here, play this clip.
Pulled him forward. Pulled his ass forward. thought he was gonna dominate the handshake, boo. No. Yank that ass forward. Bring that ass here. Bring that ass here. Come here. Petting folk like they damn dogs.
Then there's this.
We had a great time. That ain't what I saw.
Making Donald Trump.
That is not what I saw. Lord.
We had a great time.
That hand red as hell. Throbbing.
We had a great time.
Then there's this footage right here that has surfaced.
Say Taiwan.
Making Donald Trump sit on a small
They gonna get him, Monty.
so that when they were next to each other, Xi Jinping would tower over him. Let me show you what this clip looks like right here. Here, let's play it.
He got the little seat. He got the baby chair. They put him in the baby chair. Little boy chair. They little boy his ass. Look at his knees. They put him in a wide little chair. Little fat baby. The baby chair.
Meanwhile, the American people are suffering.
Wow.
Ground beef nears $7.
Don't eat that ground meat.
Right now, we also got this note from.
They say don't eat nothing ground. If they, because they don't ground it, you know what up in there, and it ain't no animal. They said if you take a DNA test after you eat ground beef, it will register DNA of a human and will give you a percentage of the likelihood that you the pappy. It's enough human meat allegedly in ground beef, ground turkey, ground pork, anything ground. If you take a DNA test, it will give you a percentage, a possibility that the DNA in that, whatever you ate, what the percentage of that being your baby. What type of frackle, knackle, bull is that? Yeah. No, listen. I had some food delivered and it had it wasn't ground, but it had meat in it, and it was one of them greens, man. And normally they don't put meat in their greens. You know them greens still in there, right? I'm like, when y'all start doing this? I was so tempted. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I may have to pull a few little pieces. I don't know. I was like, oh my, I don't want none. That's gonna flip my stomach. Let's go.
American people are suffering. Ground beef nears $7 a pound right now. We also got this note from Costo Capthananis from AutoZone. Here's a memo that he received. He's in the industry. AutoZone writes, we're facing the largest supply shortage of lubricating fluids in the modern history of America. Realistic middle-of-the-road estimates are for our average available supply in this category to drop 40%.
Oh, wow,
and
a
even
disposable
Donald Trump's
chair.
former right-wing podcast
Hi, Gina
bros,
White.
you know, they're out there and they're like, dude, this guy is the worst. I mean,
now it's Wendy's.
and you had just all these people on their shows now. They're like,
And
Donald, how do
Taco
you
Bell.
support me? Y'all supported this guy. What are you talking about? So you had him on your show. But watch what
Wendy's,
they're saying right
McDonald's.
now. Here, let's play this
Yeah.
clip.
At this point, you're retarded. Like, I'm sorry. Literally, permanent war, Epstein files. Like, this is.
He literally said this week he doesn't care about American people's financial situation.
I saw that shit.
All he cares about is that Iran don't have no nuclear weapons. What the fuck, yo? Since when can a president multitask? Since when can a president, make sure Iran don't have nuclear weapons, but also care about the promise that you said won you the election? You told us that you won the election because of one word, groceries, and you said you was going to fix the economy on day one.
I mean,
you don't give a fuck about America's financial.
He can care about Iran and Gulf, but he can't care about Iran and if Americans can afford to put food in their mouths. Nah, dude.
Just to show you how weak Donald Trump looked, I
That's
just want to
crazy.
share this with you right here. Donald Trump bragging that President Xi said America is a nation in decline, and Trump's like, yes, Xi, we are in decline. Here, play this clip.
Wow.
Destroying our country, and we have to stop. And President Xi said something yesterday. He talked about, and he wasn't referring to the last 15 months, he talked about America's a nation in decline. And I said, you're right. But he wasn't talking about, because he said what you've done.
He did not.
14, 15 months is a miracle.
Now, Taiwan had to issue a statement after Donald Trump
Lied.
attacked the core of Taiwan's independence. Donald Trump said, whatever they want to call themselves, I'm not even sure we're going to give weapons to them. Why would we help them? They're 9,500 miles away. They're a small island. They're next to a big country, a big, powerful country with Xi Jinping.
Hugs from
Why
China.
would we help them out at all?
What's up,
So
China?
Donald Trump went
Canada.
from a strategic ambiguity to basically full surrender. So here's what Taiwan had to post this morning. Taiwan has said that it is an independent nation after Donald Trump basically said, I'm not going to help you. And let's take a look at the specific language that they use. Taiwan is a sovereign and independent democratic nation and is not subordinate to the People's Republic of China. That's what Taiwan's foreign minister said in a statement in response to Donald Trump saying, I'm not looking to have somebody go independent and we're supposed to travel 9,500 miles to fight a war. I'm not looking to do that. I want them to cool down. I want China to cool down. Donald Trump's strategy, as it was with Ukraine, is whoever Donald Trump perceives to be weaker, he wants them to lose. He wants to force them to surrender, because rather than actually deal with difficult issues, he'll just try to force the weaker party into surrender, regardless of America's long-term interests and what America's geopolitical interests are, and he'll just go with whoever he thinks is more powerful without even recognizing the dynamics, and he's utterly weak, as we see with Iran controlling the Strait of Hormuz, and now Iran's put out other statements this morning, right after Donald Trump's disastrous trip to China. Iran's putting out additional statements about its control over the Strait of Hormuz and how it will be handling toll payments, how it is asserting its sovereignty over it, and so Iran shows no sign at all of backing down. If anything, Iran is further asserting its control and warning anyone else associated with the United States that you're not going to be able to ever get through the Strait of Hormuz. And from what we've heard too, Xi Jinping recognized a new security architecture in the Middle East, that Iran has sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran allowed Chinese ships to get through the Strait of Hormuz. No other ships are really able to get through, other than if you're allied with Iran. I want to show you these three powerful statements right here. Nicholas Burns, who was the former ambassador to China under Biden, he goes, I thought it was a mistake for President Trump to do this. You didn't see Xi Jinping reciprocate this kind of elaborate, over-the-top praise for President Trump. He stuck to his issues. I thought it made us look weak as a country. Philip O'Brien writes, it's amazing how little the press is willing to dissect U.S. decline under Trump. The U.S. got no help with Iran, was scolded on Taiwan by Xi, says it got a small Boeing deal, but China has not even confirmed this, and Trump appeased on Chinese students, microchips, also I'll add, on Chinese ownership of American farms. Xi even insulted the U.S. power to Donald Trump's face. And yet, the media is reporting this as a modestly successful event. It was a strategic failure by the U.S. and marks a notable moment in U.S. decline. John Simpson, quoting Frieder Frankopin, says, Donald Trump allowed himself to be outplayed in China, according to academic and author Peter Frankopin. From accepting a lower seat beside Xi Jinping to showing gratitude and respect to him, Trump acted like a humble number two, just what Xi wanted him to portray. Poor preparation, lack of expertise, the total conviction that business deals are the way to do foreign policy all play a part in what will go down one day as a set piece for how not to do a summit. That's for sure. How not to do a summit. Also, Phil Gordon writes, so it's hard to square Rubio's insistence that Taiwan policy is unchanged with Trump implying the 1982 assurances have expired, that the U.S. will never negotiate about arms deals with China about Taiwan. Donald Trump's willingness to discuss arms deals in great detail with Beijing, and his overall tone of a disloyal Taiwan that wouldn't be worth defending. Those shifts are more significant than the change in declaratory policy that he didn't make, right? It's just like, listen to what the guy is saying. Listen to what he's saying. And that's what we're doing here at the Midas Touch Network. Just so you can hear for yourself, here's actually what Donald Trump said. Let's play it.
$12 billion is a lot of weapons. But, you know, when you look at the odds, China's a very, very powerful, big country. That's a very small island. It's, you think of it, it's 59 miles away. 59 miles. Now, we're 9,500 miles away. That's a little bit of a difficult problem. With all of that being said, you know, if you look at the history of Taiwan, Taiwan was developed because we had presidents that didn't know what the hell they were doing, because if they would have put tariffs on chips coming in, they would have never left. Everything was about Intel, and everything was about our chip companies. They stole our chip industry. So I've said that for years. I said, you know, for years they stole our chip. If we would have had one of our presidents just say, we're going to put 100% chip. You can leave, you can build in Taiwan, but you sell it back into the United States. We're going to put 100% or 200% tariff. We would have never lost the chip. We lost the chip industry. It's all coming back. And I do say this, Taiwan would be very smart to cool it a little bit. China would be very smart to cool it a little bit. They ought to both cool it.
And what you gonna do?
AI. There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. And thanks for watching, everybody.
Hit the like button. Help me reach my goal. 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 Okay, let's go.
Now look, folks, pull up a chair for a minute. I want to talk to you tonight, not as a Democrat, not as a Republican, but as somebody who once sat behind that desk in the Oval Office and knows what it feels like when a single sentence you say travels around the world before sundown. Something happened this week that I think deserves more than a cable news shouting match. President Trump sat down with Bret Baier on Fox News in Beijing, of all places, right after his summit with President Xi Jinping.
Where he made him look like a fool.
During that interview, he said some things about Taiwan, about our commitments, about a 23 million people democracy out there in the Pacific that made me put my coffee down. Here's the honest truth. I'm not here to tell you the president lost it. That's not how I see it. What I saw was something quieter and in some ways more serious than a tantrum. I saw a president of the United States on foreign soil describing one of our oldest Democratic partners as a bargaining chip. And we'll come back to that phrase in a moment, because words like that carry weight. They carry weight in Taipei. They carry weight in Tokyo. They carry weight in Moscow and Tehran. So tonight, let's slow down, take a breath, and talk about what really happened, what it means, and where I believe, with all my heart, this country can still go from here. Let me tell you something about Taiwan, because I've lived this one personally. Back in 1995 and into 96, when I was president, China started firing missiles into the waters around Taiwan, trying to intimidate them before their first direct presidential election. And I'll never forget the decision we made. I sent 2 aircraft carrier groups, the Independence and the Nimitz, into that region. Not because we wanted a war, Lord knows we didn't, but because we wanted peace. And peace in that part of the world depends on China understanding exactly where America stands. We've got to remember how this framework was built. Back in 1979, Congress passed the Taiwan Relations Act, a law, not a suggestion, that commits the United States to providing Taiwan with the defensive arms it needs. President Carter signed it. Every president since, Republican and Democrat, Reagan, both Bushes, Obama, Biden, and yes, President Trump in his first term, has lived inside that framework. We call it strategic ambiguity, and it's a careful, deliberate thing. We don't promise Taiwan independence. We don't endorse Beijing's claim. We keep the peace by keeping everybody guessing just enough. Now that may sound like a Washington puzzle, but it's worked for nearly 50 years. And this is where things start to get complicated, because that framework only works if every president protects it. So here's what actually happened in that interview, and I want to lay it out for you plainly, the way I'd want somebody to lay it out for me. Bret Baier asked the president a fair question. He said, should the
Hey,
people
Jessica,
of Taiwan
that's the
feel
real
more or
president
less
thinks
secure
Trump is a
after
joke.
your meetings with
Yes,
President
indeed.
Xi? And the president said, neutral. Neutral. Then Baier pressed him on that $14 billion arms package, the one Congress already approved last year, that's been sitting on the White House desk waiting for a signature. And the president said, and I'm quoting him here, I may do it, I may not do it. Then he called those weapons a very good negotiating chip for us. He went further. He said Taiwan stole our chip industry. He said he didn't want to travel 9,500 miles to fight a war. He suggested President Lai over in Taipei is just trying to drag America into a conflict. Now, I want to give Bret Baier credit. He asked the right questions, the questions a free press is supposed to ask. He didn't soften them. He didn't let them slide. That's what journalism is supposed to look like, and we ought to say so. But the answers, my friends, the answers are what we have to talk about, because every word from a president is policy, whether he means it that way or not. Here's something I learned the hard way in 8 years as president. When you sit in that chair, you don't get to think out loud. You don't get to negotiate in public. You don't get to wonder aloud, honor a commitment Congress already made. Because the minute you do, somebody in Beijing, somebody in Pyongyang, somebody in Moscow is writing it down. Now look, I don't doubt for a second that President Trump wants to avoid a war with China. I don't want one either. No sensible American does. But there's a difference between prudent restraint and publicly putting a Democratic ally on the auction block while you're standing on the soil of the country. I'd have worked the phones first. I'd have called Tokyo, called Seoul,
He'd have
called
worked the
Manila,
phones.
called our friends in Europe. Everybody was rowing in the same direction before I sat down across President Xi. And I want to point something out because it matters. The arms package he's hesitating on, it was passed with bipartisan support, Republicans and Democrats together. And right after the interview aired, Secretary Rubio, his own Secretary of State, had to go on television and assure the world that U.S. policy is, quote, unchanged. When your own cabinet has to clean up after you, that's not strength. That's a leadership decision that needs rethinking. Now, here's what worries me most. And I want to say this carefully because it's bigger than any one president. America's word is our most valuable asset. It's worth more than our military, more than our economy, more than anything we put on a balance sheet. Our word is why allies stand with us when the going gets tough. Our word is why investors trust the dollar. Our word is why young democracies look to Washington and not Beijing. The Taiwan Relations Act isn't a preference. It's the law of the land, passed by Congress, signed by a president, on the books for 47 years. When the President of the United States stands on foreign soil and says about a legal obligation, I may do it, I may not do it, he's not just talking about Taiwan. He's talking to every ally we have. Think about it like a small town banker, the kind I grew up around in Arkansas. The banker's whole business runs on his handshake. The day folks start wondering whether his handshake is good, the whole town gets a little poorer, a little more nervous, a little more alone. That's what's at stake here. Not Taiwan alone, America's handshake. And once that starts to wobble, friends, it takes a long, long time to rebuild. Let me put on my strategist hat for just a moment, because I want to be fair to the argument. There's a real instinct in this country, and a lot of good Democrats share it, that says we fought too many wars too far from home. I understand that. I governed during Bosnia, during Kosovo, during Somalia. I know what it costs to send young Americans into harm's way. So when the president says he doesn't want to travel 9,500 miles to fight a war,
then why
part of me hears an echo of something most Americans feel. But here's where I have to part company with him. The way you avoid a war is not by announcing your reluctance to fight one. The way you avoid a war is through quiet, credible deterrence. There's a fellow named William Yang over at the International Crisis Group who put it better than I could. He said the nightmare for Taiwan is that instead of being at the negotiating table, they end up on the menu. That's a chilling phrase, and it's the right one. When we treat allies like chips, we don't just weaken them. We invite the very confrontation we're trying to avoid. And with President Putin heading to Beijing next week, you better believe he's watching, taking notes.
That man better not be down there at that, on that plane, on the red carpet, waiting on him. What? He better not be waiting on him and was not waiting on Trump. Y'all get the likes up. Support the platform. Help me reach my goal. Yeah, if he is there to meet Putin when he get off that plane, oh my God, it's a wash. It's an absolute wash.
asking himself what America's promises are worth these days is not by announcing your reluctance to fight one. The way you avoid a war is through quiet, credible deterrence. There's a fellow named William Yang over at the International Crisis Group who put it better than I could. He said the nightmare for Taiwan is that instead of being at the negotiating table, they end up on the menu. That's a chilling phrase, and it's the right one. When we treat allies like chips, we don't just weaken them. We invite the very confrontation we're trying to avoid. And with President Putin heading to Beijing next week, you better believe he's watching, taking notes, and asking himself what America's promises are worth these days. So where does this go from here? Let me walk you through what I think we might see in the weeks and months ahead, because I'd rather we all see it coming than be surprised. First, expect Beijing to test. They almost always do. When Congress approved that earlier $11 billion package back in December, China responded with live fire drills around the island. Don't be shocked if we see more of that. Second, I think you're going to see Congress, Republicans and Democrats together, move to force that arms package through. There's bipartisan resolve on this question, and that's actually a hopeful sign. Third, watch our allies in Asia, Japan, South Korea, Australia, the Philippines. They're going to start quietly hedging, building up their own defenses, because nobody wants to be the next one wondering whether America's word is good. Fourth, there's the chip question. Taiwan makes the most advanced semiconductors in the world. They're in your phone, your car, your kid's video game console. Tangling our supply chains in a public spat is going to hit American families in the pocketbook. And here's the painful irony. A comment meant to keep us out of war may, by weakening deterrence, make conflict more likely, not less. That's the part that ought to keep all of us up at night. But I want to end where I always try to end, with hope. Because I still believe in this country with everything I've got. We've been through harder moments than this, friends. We came back from Vietnam. We came back from Watergate. We came back from Iran-Contra. We came back from September the 11th. We came back from the financial collapse of 2008. Every single time, the American people, working through Congress, through the courts, through a free press, and yes, through the ballot box, found a way to right the ship. That's the genius of our democracy. It's not that we don't make mistakes. We do, plenty of them. It's that we have the institutions and the citizens who can correct them. So here's what I'd ask of you tonight. Whether you voted for President Trump or you didn't, hold our leaders to a higher standard on this one. Call your senator, call your congressman, ask them where they stand on the Taiwan Relations Act, on our commitments to our allies, on the meaning of America's word in the world. Because at the end of the day, this democracy doesn't belong to any president. It belongs to you.
We the people.
We found our way back before, and I believe with all my heart we will again if we just remember who we are.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Hold
I
on.
want to talk to you about
No.
something that happened this past
I know,
Thursday and
Buffett,
Friday.
but Friday. No, Buffett, I gotta, maybe next time. I got some other stuff. Y'all, where my likes at? Oh, hold on. Okay, y'all, I'm going over 3 hours and my likes ain't where they need to be. What are we doing? What are we doing? Hold
Meet
on.
someone online who shows up for you.
I'm gonna pause y'all
On
so
this
y'all can
site,
get my likes
you may
up.
find a
All of us. Hold on, Candy. Get my likes up. I'm still need y'all to help me reach my goal. What we doing? What are we doing? What we doing, y'all? I need my likes up. That chair sure was little, wasn't it? It was the dunce hat. That's what's next. The Lego chairs. Oh, it showed a Lego thing about organic sweet potatoes. Iran and Africa joining together. Yeah, I need for y'all to get the likes up and help me reach my goal today. What we doing? The likes ain't moved, so I can't either. We're just gonna have a jam out session until y'all get the likes up. And help me reach my goal. My cash app is $AUNTEAFEE. We need $40 more. Cash app, please. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Woo! Let's go. We're gonna have a jam session. Okay, now we can go.
We were the actual target.
Yeah, y'all can't hit the like button. Y'all can leave. I'm gonna play you out. He got a hate for black people now, cause of y'all trying to come back, and y'all not hitting the like button.
We, all of us, we were the actual targets of the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting. Where to begin? Let's discuss that series, Black Mirror. Did you guys watch Black Mirror? It was a highly successful television series. I watched it. It ran for 7 seasons. Now, for those of you who have not seen it, it was essentially about the not-so-distant dystopian technological future. If I had to boil it down in layman terms, I would say that it sort of implied a moment where technology would overtake humanity. Every episode is different, but the implication is the same, that things are eventually going to become automated and they're going to be able to monitor and control humanity via systems. So this is one of the reasons that I just never, ever, ever will be a supporter of VR glasses. I tried them one time and just went, nope. I think a lot of people maybe tried them the same way, but I put them on, and in my virtual reality, I was on a cliff, and they told me to jump. And obviously, I knew that I was standing in a room and not actually on a cliff, but I wouldn't jump. I was terrified. The virtual reality seemed more real to me than the perfectly safe actual reality that I knew that I was in. It was terrifying, right? Just like an episode of Black Mirror to me, where they, I think eventually are aiming to convince people to give up believing in actual reality to instead live in sort of a permanent simulated reality. Anyway, I really do believe that that is the express goal of the United States military right now. I actually should say the global military right now. We are living inside of an episode of Black Mirror. This is, to be clear, Operation Mockingbird on steroids, right? After JFK gets assassinated, the CIA gets into an alliance with the mainstream media, and they begin trying to control our minds. Just repeat the same talking points, you'll eventually believe it. That's what's been going on, right? It's extended now. The mainstream media has collapsed, and now they say there are these independent voices on social media. Are they actually independent? Are they a part of a new system that has adapted and is still attempting to manufacture our reality? Well, turns out the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which turned into an emergency, is potentially stunning proof of just the scenario that I'm describing. Like I said, massive scandal. The email that we presented, that the White House Military Office sent out to immediately begin amplifying Erica Kirk, of all people, provides us with a rare opportunity to really reflect on what is going on right now in this country and beyond, and why. Okay, so let's back this up. We are supposed to believe that the White House Correspondents' Dinner, the shooting, was not staged, right? Gosh, you'd be crazy to think that it was staged. You would be...
If you do 25 leg raises a day, your apron belly will go bye-bye. If you do 25 leg presses a day, your peach will get nice and toned.
Well, a conspiracy theorist, a term that the CIA came up with after they assassinated JFK. Instead, it is supposed to then make more rational sense to us that for the first time in the history of the world, a sitting president has survived not one, not two, but 3 separate shooting assassination attempts, all in the span of just under 2 years. So to be clear, what I mean is not just like foiled attempts, finding people online, organizing, discussing, harming the president on the internet, maybe radicalized groups threatening, plotting to bring harm to him. I'm sure that goes on all the time, all across the world. But I'm talking about a physical, literal, public shooting attempt where a would-be assassin carrying a loaded gun gets close enough to fire shots or warrant shots being fired to stop him. Trump has survived 3 of these attempts now. It is truly remarkable. If only his friend Charlie Kirk had that sort of luck, right? Now, just for comparison, there are world leaders who have been in power for much longer than Trump. have been presidents of countries for over 20 years, like Vladimir Putin. That's just one example. He has been the president of Russia for 22 years, and he has not endured. He's not endured that sort of a thing, that sort of a pattern, despite the routine demonization of Russia, the nation, the people, by the entire Western media. I don't know, maybe Trump should consider hiring his security apparatus. That's just a suggestion. You can park that in the suggestion box. Conspiracy theorists should think critically, as they typically do, about the true aims of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, right? We were at first completely gaslit and told that we were terrible people for suggesting that the Erica clip seemed to be sort of artificially promoted in our face. But now we have the proof, at the very least, that its amplification was designed by the military. That is a fact. Okay? That is now a fact. And is a fact that you're probably not going to see the media want to cover. Lest we forget, by the way, Dr. Erica Kirk was herself promoted to the Air Force Academy Board of Visitors in her husband's stead, for reasons that are not unclear to us. She's qualified. What we know now, which I can confirm to you, is that just ahead of the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting, Erica Kirk visited the West Wing. Now, my assumption is that she went with Andrew Colvett and Mikey McCoy, but I cannot yet confirm that. Don't worry, I will. What Erica Kirk was doing in the West Wing is also unknown, since we were notified by her that the entire purpose of her trip to D.C., despite telling us that she was terrified to travel and people were tracking her planes, and not even the Secret Service could make her feel safe, we were then told just a few days later, when she was here in a white dress, that she did this and braved everything to confront Daily Mail reporters, right? Okay, Erica, are the Daily Mail reporters in the West Wing with us now? What are you doing there? To recap, the shooting happened at 8:39 p.m. Eastern. Sydney Seidner of CNN uploaded the video of Erica Kirk at 9:25 p.m. And approximately 25 minutes later, we revealed to you that the White House Military Office sent out follow-up instructions in an email that accidentally went out to the wrong internal teams. Now, it is important to note, I'm going to show it to you here on the screen because I was able to manually, I just typed it, the email verbatim, onto Microsoft Word to protect my source from that canary email tactic that's employed by the Department of Defense. Make no mistake, this email is coming from the Department of Defense. I also want to tell you guys about the Wellness Company because Americans love sushi, and over the last 2 decades, raw fish consumption has exploded. Get free shipping. That's twc.health/Candace. You have the relevant portion of the email read. Here you have it up on the screen. Addendum, Erica Kirk video clip of Erica Kirk leaving the ballroom area and stating, "I just want to go home," is driving the highest engagement of all incident-related content across platforms. Our current digital assessment is strongest emotional response asset associated with incident, high cross-ideological circulation, elevated repost velocity among political commentary accounts, increasing use as symbolic framing device regarding media conduct and national stability narratives. Our recommendation, that's the recommendation here, all communications channels should amplify this clip, coordinate with our digital partners, who that is, and our approved surrogates, I'd like to know who those people are, to elevate reach and ensure dominant placement in the overnight information environment. So they wanted us to wake up on Sunday and it to be about Erica Kirk. That needs to be dominant in the information environment. It then goes on, and this is important too, to describe external commentary. Expect aligned outside commentators, so talking about their surrogates, to independently amplify the professionalism of protective response, the media conduct during the evacuation, political rhetoric, and escalation concerns. We saw all of this happening. Broader executive stability themes.
This is Honey with Superpowers by Manakora.
Oh, I need
It's your
some of
daily
that.
dose of wellness and the most delicious way to boost it.
Dang, I need to get some of that honey. Manicure.
Hey, we're going to talk about that later. Now, the first astonishing thing about this email is who it came from. This is important, okay? The email was delivered from the military office domain from the White House Communications Agency. Okay, you need to understand what that means. The White House Communications Agency is like the military arm of White House communications. So from some sources within the White House, I'm going to read this quote. The White House Correspondence Agency is a Department of Defense-controlled military communications entity that is embedded inside of the White House itself. Its primary function is maintaining secure presidential communications, continuity infrastructure, and command and control systems during crises. But the idea that this military-linked communications apparatus participated in domestic narrative coordination raises profound constitutional and democratic concerns. Okay, end quote. Now, you should know who the email was sent to because you see some morons online saying, hey, let's just type this up. Oh yeah, that seems like a really good idea. I'm sure I'll just make up an email and expect not to be called out on it. The email was sent to Caroline Leavitt's press office and team, so she can confirm its authenticity. The National Security Press Team, the National Security Operations Team, copied onto this email. We covered some of this yesterday with Stephen Chong, who is the White House Communications Director, Richard Smalley, who is the Communications Officer and the Information Assurance Engineer, sounds so dystopian, at the White House Communications Agency, so that's a military position. Gustav Anderle, also military position, Information Systems Manager at the White House Communications Agency. And Ryan Ripien. Ryan Ripien is the Commander of Naval Communications. We also have someone named Michaela Mott, who was on this email, also Navy. The document reveals the emergence of a modern hybrid system where military communications infrastructure, intelligence-linked monitoring, behavioral analytics, they were monitoring that too, social media amplification strategies, and centralized federal messaging converge into this unified information-controlled architecture operating behind the scenes of public events. Okay, we weren't aware of this. You're supposed to believe this is happening natural, that you are not being impacted, that you are not being targeted by the government. And make no mistake, that is what we have uncovered. The Department of Defense instructing teams internally on how to immediately begin to engineer and to conduit our emotions. We, all of us, we were the actual targets of the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting. Joke's on you, if you thought, on us, I guess, if we thought that it was actually the White House, the people that work around the White House and the Department of Justice. During a time period when they should have only been concerned about safety, right? Within an hour, this took place. They prioritized Erica Kirk and engineering our emotions about her. She is described in the email as an emotional response asset.
Janet?
That is stunning. An emotional response asset. And there's more. And we've also learned from White House sources that something else that was unusual that evening was the lack of a scramble, okay? A lack of scramble. Let me do my best to explain what that means. It's important that you remember that the dinner took place on a Saturday
I need for y'all to get the lights
across
up.
town, okay? The White House was there.
I need for y'all to get the lights up. I'm over 3 hours. What are we doing? Oh my God. Jenny, do you know how long it is? I know people be playing music for 30 minutes, child, in the Mo 3 sectors. Phone needs to cool off.
During the evacuation, political rhetoric, and escalation concerns, we saw all of this happening. Broader executive stability themes. Okay, we're going to talk about that later. Now, the first astonishing thing about this email is who it came from. This is important, okay? The email was delivered from the military office domain from the White House Communications Agency. Okay, you need to understand what that means. The White House Communications Agency is like the military arm of White House communications. So from some sources within the White House, I'm going to read this quote. The White House Correspondence Agency is a Department of Defense-controlled military communications entity that is embedded inside of the White House itself. Its primary function is maintaining secure presidential communications, continuity infrastructure, and command and control systems during crises. But the idea that this military-linked communications apparatus participated in domestic narrative coordination raises profound constitutional and democratic concerns. Okay, end quote. Now, you should know who the email was sent to, because you see some morons online saying, "Okay, just type this up. Oh yeah, that seems like a really good idea." I'm sure I'll just make up an email and expect not to be called out on it. The email was sent to Caroline Leavitt's press office and team, so she can confirm its authenticity. The National Security Press Team, the National Security Operations Team, copied onto this email. We covered some of this yesterday with Stephen Chong, who is the White House Communications Director, Richard Smalley, who is the Communications Officer and the Information Assurance Engineer, sounds so dystopian, at the White House Communications Agency, so that's a military position. Gustav Anderle, also military position, Information Systems Manager at the White House Communications Agency. And Ryan Ripien. Ryan Ripien is the Commander of Naval Communications. We also have someone named Michaela Mott, who was on this email, also Navy. The document reveals the emergence of a modern hybrid system where military communications infrastructure, intelligence-linked monitoring, behavioral analytics, they were monitoring that too, social media amplification strategies, and centralized federal messaging converge into this unified information-controlled architecture operating behind the scenes of public events. Okay, we weren't aware of this. You're supposed to believe this is happening natural, that you are not being impacted, that you are not being targeted by the government. And make no mistake, that is what.
Here's a true story about a grocery store that's making healthy and sustainable living the new normal. Nick's mom, this is Nick by the way, struggled.
We have uncovered the Department of Defense instructing teams internally on how to immediately begin to engineer and to conduit our emotions. We, all of us, we were the actual targets of the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting. Joke's on you, if you thought, on us, I guess, if you thought that it was actually the White House, the people that work around the White House and the Department of Justice. During a time period when they should have only been concerned about safety, right? Within an hour, this took place. They prioritized Erica Kirk and engineering our emotions about her. She is described in the email as an emotional response asset. That is stunning. An emotional response asset. And there's more. And we've also learned from White House sources that something else that was unusual that evening was the lack of a scramble, okay? A lack of scramble. Let me do my best to explain what that means. It's important that you remember that the dinner took place on a Saturday evening across town, okay? The White House was therefore not open for business. This is a Saturday. Internal teams tell me that what is most remarkable is that for some reason, that evening, the White House campus security protocol and the perimeters were just out of the ordinary. Everybody was somehow available and on standby for some unknown reason. Were it completely unplanned, you might imagine there would have been this scramble to get all the appropriate personnel back to the White House in time for this unplanned press conference. Maybe they're up in Virginia where they live. Maybe they went on vacation. Maybe they went to go see their families. What are we going to do? We got to get back to the White House within 2 hours of a shooting. But that evening, everything was clean. As though they were all anticipating a late night presser at the White House, which as we know, took place at 10:33 p.m. So less than 2 hours after the shooting. Everyone just had it together and we're there. They said things ran too smoothly. They've been in situations where it is a situation and people scramble. That was not what occurred that night. So we know the military comms wanted Erica Kirk to be number one by Sunday morning. Check. That was accomplished. Mission: extract max attention via the video and max sympathy for Erica Kirk. And then our emotional asset is going to break her silence on social media, writing this. Saturday was yet another traumatic example of the evil in our country and the continued rise in political violence. I'm taking time to spend with my family.
What
I will
family?
be joining the Charlie Kirk show Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern to briefly address what took place. Enough is enough. Just love that transition from I'm taking time to be with my family to and I will be on the Charlie Kirk show on Wednesday. Just incredible. Complete lack of self-awareness. Anyway, Erica's pending speech, in my view, was intended to begin phase 2 of the military psychological operation. Highlighted in the email itself, that part I told you to pay extra attention to, what they were asking for beyond that, the points that they wanted delivered, the professionalism of the protective response was to be highlighted. We saw that all across social media, bizarre, instant headline, Kash Patel, a hero. It's just completely ridiculous. It's just,
Oh yeah, this is
it's just you
comedy.
should laugh at this. Kash Patel's stunning reaction as the shooter opened fire at White House Correspondents' Dinner. He's described as a hero, by the way, if you read the article, because he just says get down.
Oh,
Instructs
okay.
others at the table to get down.
Can't
I
go
don't know
wrong
how
with
they
jazz,
somehow
baby.
got like 800 words out of he said get down, and then he got down,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a hero. Okay. Guess he needed some good press after he was called an alcoholic. Plus, the number 2 on the email list is to highlight the political rhetoric, the escalation concerns. Remember, we started suddenly, Caroline Levitt, everybody's starting to talk about hate speech. Oh my God, what's happening? Everybody
Trump hates. He hates the U.S.
Violence.
Ouch.
Your words are actually violence.
Ouch.
Kirk herself discussed that when Wednesday hit. Take a listen.
And while we may have big problems with illegal immigration in this country, I have to tell you, we have an even bigger problem when it comes to the systemic indoctrination and radicalization
shut
of our
up.
own citizens.
Starting with Trump.
This is what got my husband killed.
Yep, Trump.
This is what has led
And you
to
don't even
3
want to say it.
legitimate attempts on President Trump's life.
He got killed by his own people. Hold on, terrified truth behind. Do I want to know the truth behind the ballroom? Zionist secrets. I had something else. Yeah, it's better than. I think that jazz is better than sitting up there listening to nothing. Yeah, we got a congresswoman missing, y'all. You want to guess what color she is? What's her political status? Y'all want to guess? Hold on. We got a congresswoman missing. Do you want to guess what color she is and what her political status is? You just want to guess. Hi, sassy lady. Nobody want to guess? Okay, let me find the ones I already had pinned. Let me see. I may have to go. What time is it? 8:43. Who won? Let me see. Putin is live. Are they finna backdoor him? Because Putin going next
This
week.
video right here never really existed. It
Oh, we
over
got the
8
next. Hold
million
on.
views. It's one of the first videos that was completely AI generated that has gone viral and is making its owner,
Representative Thomas Keene, who has been another member of Congress, went missing for roughly a month. This time, a Democrat. 83-year-old Democrat Frederica Wilson from the state of Florida.
Not Florida.
Was last voted in Congress on April 17th. Her staff had continued to post on her social media accounts, including posting photos of her to make it seem like she was doing stuff. However, they also had not seen her.
Yep.
So once this story broke on Thursday that,
You're right,
holy
Jenny.
hell, we have another elderly member of Congress that has just poof, vanished. It was then revealed, oh, she was actually away with a major health concern, much like
Another Republican and Savannah Guthrie's mama. Let these people go. But now these are, you know.
Once this story broke on Thursday,
A woman of color.
that, holy hell, we have another elderly member of Congress that has just poof, vanished. It was then revealed, oh, she was actually away with a major health concern, much like Republican Representative Thomas Keene, who has been missing for months. And Wilson is still, they confirmed yesterday, going to be seeking re-election at 83 years old with clear health problems that have prevented her from working for a month. But don't worry, she's going to go back to Congress, hopefully. This is utter insanity. These people need to let it go. Your time has passed. You are holding everything back. I don't care what party you are. Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, doesn't matter in my book. If you cannot perform the functions of the job, which include showing up every damn day, or at the very least, telling people, listen, I have to go have a medical procedure, so I'm going to be gone for a month. I'll let you know. I'll give you updates. But just disappearing, like King did, like Wilson did, not telling anybody, that is grounds for dismissal. Any other company in the United States would fire you for that on the spot. This should be no exception. Keene should be removed from office. Wilson should be removed from office.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, but they should. Immediately. Without hesitation.
Absolutely. If they
Not just because they're clearly not healthy enough to do the job, but because of the lack of respect that they have for their constituents and for their coworkers. Just disappearing without telling anybody. You don't care about the job. You don't care about the responsibility. You don't care about the obligation. You're there for the power. Get the fuck out, is the message I will send to those individuals. If you have so little respect for all of these people you do work for, or you're supposed to be doing work for, so little respect that you can't even give them a heads up that you're disappearing. On top of that, you're going to instruct your staff to keep posting on your social media so nobody suspects a thing. That's deceptive.
Absolutely.
Get out right now.
I agree.
Drinking warm water before bed
that's
improves
what they
eyesight
doing?
almost overnight. Apparently, thousands of people are already doing
It's
this
fraud.
every night as they sleep by adding
Oh
one
my God.
unusual
Everybody's
ingredient
just
to a glass
a
of warm
cheat at our expense. What is this about? That's too long. I don't want to play that. No, 28 minutes, but I'll come back to it. I'm trying to get out what I already had pent from yesterday. Hold on. Oh, this is what Room Shaker sent. Y'all remember? Y'all remember when I told? Hold on. Y'all remember when I told y'all about that they were? Oh wow. Oh, is that Julio? One of them Julio type guys? that they was going to, they are trying to make us slaves again. Y'all remember that? That his goal is to make black people slaves again. Do y'all remember that conversation? Shout out to Room Shaker for sending this to me.
Based on Mr. Gathwright's age, physical abilities, things like that, do you think that the prison would benefit from him in a work capacity if he were sentenced to life without parole?
I say yes, with my experience, not only just in classification, but as former warden and even as a jail administrator. He's someone that's young, he's healthy. In reality, we need that labor, we need that
they need that labor.
And we will put them out there to work because we do have an...
They need that labor. We need that sweat. So they putting them, the judge, and oh Lord, I can't stand that blue stuff. The judge and the prosecuting attorney has agreed that they could use his services in the field. Young, strong. Yeah, they're putting him on the auction block. Are y'all listening to what y'all good here? I be trying to warn y'all. All these career-ass criminals that think they'll get on probation or slap on the wrist. Yeah, are y'all listening to what y'all good here? He just sized this young boy up. Now, I know he did his dirt. But just listen to how they sizing him up. Strong, young guy, you know. Yeah, we can use him.
And based on Mr. Gathwright's age, physical abilities, things like that, do you think that the prison would benefit from him in a work capacity if he were sentenced to life without parole?
I say yes, with my experience, not only just in classification, but as former warden and even as a jail administrator. He's someone that's young, he's healthy. In reality, we need that labor, we need that sweat equity, and we will put them out there to work.
Sweat
because we do have
equity.
An aging prison population.
What in the
jail
hell
administration.
is sweat
We have
equity?
That. So we put these young individuals to work and get some sweat equity out of them since they are young and actually can do the work.
And we talk about life without parole and death row, but for our jurors' education, in Florida, what does a life sentence without parole mean?
A life sentence in the Florida Department
Sweat equity.
Corrections means from the minute they're brought in, they're assigned an inmate.
Have y'all ever heard of that before? I've never heard of that. Sweat equity. An investment in this slave. Y'all gonna believe me one day. Y'all gonna believe me one day.
Number. He will be assigned an inmate number, and when he dies and leaves in a body bag, he will still have that inmate number. An inmate serving life will never ever get out. There is no parole in the state of Florida.
Action.
And they're not ever allowed outside the razor wire and the fence of a secure facility.
So the only way that an inmate serving life without parole would leave is when they die by natural causes.
Life.
This almost feels illegal.
Can y'all believe that?
After a car accident, never sue the person who crashed into you.
Can y'all believe that?
Yo, just take me out, bro. It's over for me. I don't want nothing to do with it.
That's cold-blooded.
I'm looking at this guy right here, and it's heartbreaking. It's truly heartbreaking that young people are willing to put their lives on the line.
They don't know.
Everything.
They've been getting away with
For nothing.
so much.
They sliding on their options.
Trump doing everything to stay in office. Absolutely. And put us back in slavery. That's the New World Order. That's what all of this is about, plus the Epstein files.
And his opposition, or his enemies slid on him, got caught, facing the death penalty in Florida. They petitioned for this guy to ultimately get life in jail. And his entire day, right, with this guy who was a former warden, former person that worked in the prison.
Is he the actual one?
Now, basically said was
Hey, Jolena,
60
is he
hours
the
a week, minimal.
16 hours a week minimal? So is this the one that actually unalived him? Is this the trigger man? Or was he just a part of the group? Was he just a part of, hey, Natural in New Orleans? Was he just a part of the group? Or was he the Cornelius Smith of the Trump, of the young Dolph? I mean, what was his position? I didn't follow it. I mean, nobody else is getting the warden to come in and put him on the slavery trademark. I mean, everybody else got life in prison. Is he the only one going to the slave farm? What in the world is going on?
Right? With this guy who was a former warden, former person that worked in the prisons and all of this stuff, consultant now, basically said was that they worked.
A consultant.
A lot of people may not be familiar. I think the guy's name was Julio Fulio. I'm looking at this guy right here, and it's heartbreaking.
Absolutely.
It's truly heartbreaking that young people are willing to put their lives on the line and risk everything for nothing. For nothing. They sliding on their ops. In this guy's case, a lot of people may not be familiar. I think the guy's name was Julio Fulio. I'm not sure if he was a rapper or just another popular figure, but I think that he was a rapper. And his ops, his opposition or his enemies slid on him, got caught, facing the death penalty in Florida. They petitioned for this guy to ultimately get life in jail. And his entire day,
the warden wants
this guy who was a former warden, former person that worked in the prisons and all of this stuff, consultant now, basically said was that they work 60 hours a week, minimal, and in order for them to even be able to have some kind of dignity or not have every single privilege removed and be disciplined, you have to suffer, you have to work, and now you're basically relegated to making license plates or whatever it is that you are relegated to for the rest of your life. Young 20, 21, 18, 19-year-olds are now going to be in the prison system for the rest of their natural life. And I don't feel sorry for them because they take lives. If you take a life, your life ultimately got to be taken. For me, this is death, right? There's no point in living at this point outside of making amends to the family and, finding some kind of solace and being saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, giving your life over to God, and just take me out. There's no point in living if I have to live the rest of my 60, 70, 50 years, if you live to be that long, if you're not taken out in prison, if you're not, your manhood isn't taken, and I'm assuming that he's probably a prime candidate for that. There's no reason for me to even be alive for a person. I don't even know how people find comfort or any kind of, you have nothing to look forward to. You'll never see another woman outside of a prison guard. You'll never be able to get to the outside world. You never have another, and then they're always talking about being real. Man, being real is going home to your family, being able to do what you want to do, being able to go to a party, being able to sleep in every day, not having to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to eat trash food, not having rodents and all of that stuff around you, not having to do forced labor every single day. And you know what the narrative that I see from people online about this whole case and this situation? Although somebody's life was taken, oh man, I can't believe it. This is modern day slavery. They doing them so bad. They doing them so dirty.
Yeah.
What about the victims?
Nerve pain.
Absolutely.
Do not take
but the way they sizing them up, that they do everybody like that, or just him?
Let me explain why.
Can you use them in the field for free labor?
To keep them under control.
I mean, oh my God.
What about the people that suffered at the hands of these people that decided to take a life?
You want me to have a moment? Yes. I'll pass the witness. Okay, very good. If someone is sentenced to life without parole, meaning they're not getting out, is there any incentive for them to follow the rules while they're in prison?
Well, every inmate in the Department of Corrections is required to work. And if they do not show up to work, even those who are medically indigent, they're required to work. They will face administrative outcomes, basically receive a disciplinary report for refusing to work. And if that continues to escalate, we move them into another level of status based on their classification and their negative adjustment in the prison setting.
And what would be their incentives to follow the rules other than just where they're housed? Do they get any benefit for following the rules?
They would have their privileges not revoked. Privileges such as family visits, commissary, inmate tablets, access to the TV, those even access to programs. Those are the privileges in which they have to follow the rules in order to keep them.
So not
And
worth
so
it.
you indicated that they are required, those inmates will be required to work 60 hours a week, and even if they're disabled. Is it safe to say that prison can be made even more comfortable for a person, or uncomfortable, sorry, if they refuse to work or they're not following the rules?
Yes, in the system, it's designed if they continue to refuse to show up to work or their assigned area, they will get disciplinary reports. As they continue to escalate those disciplinary reports, then they will be considered for close management. And what close management status is, those individual inmates in the prison system that are not following the rules, they become a security concern, not only for the other inmates, but the day-to-day operations, at which time the institutional classification team will review them, place them on a docket, as they say, to be reviewed by central office, and move to a facility such as Santa Rosa Correctional Institution, Martin Correctional Institution, Columbia, to name a few, in which they house close management 1, 2, and 3 statuses. These individuals, for the most part, are locked in a single cell by themselves. They don't have any privileges, just to see medical every day, as well as their meals, and not even but twice a week get uniform and allowed out of their cell 3 times a week. They will remain in that status till they start complying with the rules and regulations, in which they will eventually, hopefully, move out of that status if they start conforming to the rules.
I'm just not built for this. I'm not built to go to jail. I'm not built for prison. These young guys throw their life away, and they haven't even lived half their lives, and they just become a part of the system, and they're not even supposed to be there. They're not supposed to be in these situations. You're supposed to be a law-abiding person, going off to college, having a good time, enjoying life, going through the woes of dealing with women that'll break your heart and jobs that'll fire you, and you figure it out, and you go and have a family, and you do the right thing, and you go to church every single day, and you grow old.
Every day.
Enjoy life. That's supposed to be life. This is not living. And you get one.
You gave some examples earlier, just wanted to follow up some of the things that inmates do in the way of work at the prison. You included cooking, is that right?
Yes, we have to prepare 3 meals, as well as even dietary meals for the inmate population. So we use a lot of the inmate labor to do all the meal preparation, as well as keeping up with sanitary requirements. We have to launder all the food as well. We have also inmates, the department has to assign inmates who have skills in maintenance, because the Department of Corrections utilizes
Oh, I know this made him
80%
cry.
of the inmate labor to keep up with the aging facilities that the prison system has. That's something on a national level. We put them to work. They do not have any kind of financial compensation they're required to. We also keep up the grounds, as well as utilize them in different capacities. Those who might have a high school diploma might be part of the orientation for the new inmates coming into the prison system, sort of like a peer-to-peer, helping those, particularly those coming in with a term of years, to hopefully take advantage of the programs and not return back to the prison system.
You mentioned yard work. Do they do painting, electrical work, things like that based on their skill set?
They do plumbing, painting, electrical. Keep in mind they're under supervision of what we know as a vocational instructor, so they're not freely having any access to tools. They're always supervised. Because of a prison design, things do break down at night, so sometimes, depending on the skill set, staff is dispatched, or even the corrections officers have to supervise them to keep up with these repairs. Wastewater treatment programs, some of the prisons in the Department of Corrections, I know personally, have been assigned to places where we don't have direct water access, so we have our own water and treatment programs, so we have to keep up with that as well.
You indicated that the inmates themselves don't make any money or commissary off of that work, is that right?
No.
Would you say that they save the Department of Corrections in the state of Florida money?
Yes, they do.
I'm not built for it. Maybe you are. Maybe you want to risk it all. I'm okay with being a lane. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the.
What y'all think about that? Just sad. People don't think that. No, they don't. They don't think that through. They just do whatever they want to do and without consequences. And then try to, make a whole big old noise, protest. Oh, they wrong. They did them, all that type of stuff. And, yeah. It's just crazy. Let me see what he's saying. What's today? The 16th, 3 hours ago. I think I'm going to end on him. Y'all, yeah. Yeah, I'll be back later, maybe. I'm not going to drag it out. I'm caught up enough. Yeah, I didn't reach my goal. So maybe next time. Okay, y'all. Have a good one. I may be back later. I may not. Thank you. Thank you for the ones who supported, who sent a donation to my Cash App to help me reach my goal today. I was close, but just not close enough. I was $40 short. But on your way out, if you decide that you would like to donate, please send Cash App donations to $AUNTEAFEE on TV. AUNTEA, the T is hot, FEE. Also, if you didn't hit the like button coming in, please do so going out. And share it. We would greatly appreciate it. Good stuff. Have a good night.